$2,000. But how much is mine? Spin that wheel, Chris. All those features and my Playday is still just $7.99. See how much you can save when you dare to compare. In-store or at mybobs.com.
Alex, this is my shot to say, I'm back. Most people got 100% clear skin, some after the first dose.
Serious side effects, including suicidal thoughts and behavior, infections, and lowered ability to fight them. Liver problems and inflammatory bowel disease have occurred. Tell your doctor if these happen or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to.
Start to get yourself back with Benzellix.
Ask your dermatologist about Benzellix today.
Pretty impressed with them. Wonder if they can keep the energy up. They do fall there in 9th place, but that was a deep run.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you take a vehicle and you just run everybody over. You know, you're right. It was the first game that I brought them up, and I think that we've just seen them play with a certain level of tenacity and confidence that really like drives the teams through this kind of competition, and that we saw from those teams like Omit and like Falcons yesterday. And they've also been really creative. I feel like a number of the positions that they've taken up, and the fact they've been using water a lot as well. We actually just saw it in this clip here, but it wasn't even just in this game.
Right.
To kind of use as like conceal themselves and like be able to spring out on their enemies at the right moment. It's just been incredibly creative and not something that necessarily their enemies have been able to read into as easily.
That was a great final play. Gabe, the hero for FaZe Black, making it happen. Graduated high school 3 months ago, and his team keeping him honest, keeping him disciplined. And of course, he's talking about Flanked and blast. FaZe Black, congratulations. They finally rise up to the occasion. The first time we're really seeing them highlighted, right, when it comes to the World Series of Warzone Global Finals. How's the EU doing over there, Enigma?
Terribly. We are not having a good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is not great. However, there is a team that I want to highlight, and in particular, an individual, and this is going to be Reply Totem. And they are the two Italians of Blade and Vortex, both of which have previously won the World Series, with Blade even winning the World Series solo YOLO back on Caldera. Last year, they played with Savvy Ultras, and they were really strong online, had a not great land stage, let's say. They dropped Savvy Ultras in controversial fashion, and then really struggled to find a solid third. They've brought in Rob Starr, who I've spoken about as a young man, who I believe has a lot of talent out here, currently leading the way on everyone when it comes to kills today. 17 on the board thus far.
17 is pretty incredible, but it's a team effort. It's not an individual effort. The team hopefully comes together and they can make it happen. Well, if you guys at home have been playing Call of Duty, you've been seeing a lot of seasons come and go. But one that is going to be coming around the bend is Season 6. Let's see what's in store for us.
Still be survivors.
Let's move.
Pump cams are up. Frosty. Movement. Rocket, come in. Enemy movement. Also spotted. Does anyone have eyes on him? Report. Everyone fall back! Repeat, fall back! Does anyone read me?
Warner, I can't wait for it, and I can't wait to see how the next game is going to go, which we're loading into it, and it's going to be starting very shortly. Before we go there, though, let's get you caught up to speed with the standings. Enigma, what do we got going on?
Well, as the EMEA analyst, I'm going to talk a quick second about Team Echo leading the line, doing a great job at fighting around City. However, what I do want to obviously point towards is that the Team Falcons gap has diminished to 1.2 points. Team Community are all over them and also leading the way when it comes to eliminations. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a series on our hands here for the final day.
Yes, we do. Falcons falling early gave an opportunity for Community to catch up. Aiden as well. Nobody was expecting the points to be this close, leading into at least game number 5. And speaking of which, game number 5 is ready to go. Let's continue the World Series of Warzone Global Finals, game number 5. Hey, casters, are you ready? Spider Tiff goes. Let's kick it off.
Thank you, Taylor Reflections Noble. I'm going to be honest, I'm surprised you didn't tout yourself thinking that this would be the case. He said it was going to be 8 games no matter what, at least. And somehow, some way, Taylor might be right for once in his life. It's crazy, Tiff, that this tournament is so incredibly close. Like you said, COD Community had a great game. It could have been better. They needed higher placements, but even still, Scumman is actually our individual kill leader now. That Community team came to slay, and because of that, they are right there, right behind Falcons.
Look, I was like, I don't want to get between you and Reflections. I know I'm up here standing between them, and now I've got, you know, Enigma here to my right. I think yesterday in your content piece, didn't you say that Scumman was actually the worst player out there?
That's right. Man, the desk is just all
Wow. Wrong or just EU biased? I
don't know, but
Probably
regardless, I did say that I would see a max of 6 games here today, and quite frankly, I'm wrong. Yeah, production, can I go back over there and just like give a poke? Be like, yo, here, I'm doing it.
So you just throw the L up.
I'm sorry.
We're having a great time. Folks, I think a big note also, we've got to tip our hat to FaZe Black. I was so unsure about their total kill tally that I was kind of like, oh, was it enough? They jumped up to 4th place. FaZe Black dropped a 38-point game in that one. Flank dropped 10 kills. That is a monster effort. We knew they had it in them. We've just been waiting to see. And this is exactly what we wanted to see. If you're a fan of competition, yesterday we walked out of the venue. You and I were talking. We said, what do the other teams have to do? The teams that struggled, because it was an absolute domination. And well, frankly, our big thought was change up your strategy. But for FaZe Black, they've been landing in the same place over and over again. This time, things are just going their way. Maybe it's skill, maybe it's luck, probably a little bit of the combination. It's Warzone, and it is time for map number 5. Folks, we might be going the distance. We might be going to double digits, but for now, let's see what this map has to offer.
Moving, this squad firing on all cylinders compared to yesterday, and I can only imagine with Juju on 14 eliminations, still looking pretty powerful here. I can only imagine even youngsters, man, breaching that 13 elims. Also, this squad, keep an eye on them, I'm telling you.
Very consistent, very strong team. I literally sat next to Brax on the plane ride over here. He was giving me all the tips and tricks. He said, we never get contested. Speaking of being contested, it looks like a total abandonment of form here from Omit T & Co. They've gone to the bottom of high rise in this area in City instead of contesting Cloud9. Is this good news for Cloud9 in the technical second half of day 2? Possibly, but still a lot of ground to make up if you're a Cloud9 fan and or an Omit T fan and co. So we'll see. But right now, COD Community, all eyes on you, because you are the closest team that could theoretically take down the Falcons, or at least take the lead from them here shortly. Now, we've got to remind people, Tip, 150 points is what we're going for. We are 50 away still. We did watch the Falcons drop the 60-point game, and theoretically, this end zone might go to Pop-Off.
It really might, but for Brawlic, he's just out here trying to take the battle of the fence. Reaper on the other side, game plays, and we're trying to finesse it, but it's not going to go your way. Jackal and Husker still a bit too far away. Hopefully Brawlic can get out of the gulag, because Jackal is down on the ground as well. The full comes through. Not how you want to kick things off, especially with that earlier match win. We're still working on that leapfrog up the leaderboard, but Brawlic goes. It's Na'Vi, it's Levi on the other side.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. We haven't seen that much from Na'Vi today. They had a pretty solid performance yesterday with top 10 team, and now Levi gets the better of Brawlic, unfortunately getting cut down. The Exiles, a very frustrating start, I'm sure, with a couple being sent to the gulag and a couple losses. Now, Omit NA now being challenged because, well, they've pushed the equation on Cloud9. Look at where they've rotated to. They took their drop spot for free, they got their loadout, and they are flying on Cloud9. So not being contested this time by T, but instead, Omit NA says, we need more kills, so we're going to push the equation into Seaport. We know we can win those fights.
Must win already for the Exiles, who do not want to be exiled here. Team Vitality on the other side with Stevo. Prone, patient. We already have one elimination, but that stun, oh boy, here we go. The angles, Huskers reads it, puts a lot of damage down, but unfortunately doesn't get the full crack.
Long sight line. Definitely goes to the side of Huskers. Here's the push through the smoke. Huskers connects. That's a broken plate, but job's not done. Zip is up. He's gonna go for it. Oh, no, wait, it's a bait and switch. Gonna go for the kill, and he gets it with 1 HP and a dream. Huskers keeps his dream alive in map number 5. That was undeniably ballsy, and he was able to pull it out and get right back into this map. He could have been the first team fully eliminated.
I don't know how you stay sane in a moment like that, because you have to be locked in. I'm over here like, I can't breathe, I can't. And Team Echo, well, hello to COD Community we go. Prodigy last standing, Oki in the gulag, Echo fully eliminated, and who knows if Prodigy has burned theirs, but here comes Dongi. A shooter in the O right, but Prodigy puts him down.
Jeez. That's one of those moments you're gonna look back on and say, dang, do we really have to spend money on that? I mean, that's brutal, right? It's a 3v1. Just hold your horse for just a moment. Maybe a little bit of some weakness from this team, but Donkey said, don't worry, I'm just gonna go get my kill in the gulag. My bad, let me get some revenge. Oki on the other side. These two teams were fighting on the map now into the gulag together. Oki and Dongi, both fantastic, young, good customs player. Barrel stop.
Wow.
Dongi gets the win this time around. And Prodigy's gonna try to keep their dreams alive. This could be a strong team being eliminated first if Prodigy loses this.
I mean, we are sitting in the top 10, in 7th place. You cannot lose any bit here. And, well, it was shaky, but it doesn't have to be perfect. We get back to go. The regain is here. Sorry, Nida.
All right, collective deep breath. That was wild. Oh, no, this is a quick look back at Huskers. I just had a panic there for a moment, but this crazy play from Huskers. Ballsy gets the kill, pushes the equation. Look at his health. I love you, production. That right there is the definition of an IOTA. Learn it and own it, Mr. Huskers. Let's see if they're able to regain. As you see, Jackals die again, which means Exiles not out of the blender yet. As we actually take a look over at Aiden's team, who's flying in and getting punished by FaZe Black. This time, FaZe Black says, you're not pushing us out of military, not this time, as they take down the rest of Navi.
Yeah, this is gonna get real mixy pretty quick, honestly. At least we have all three back up again. Navi looking on the regain in the dead center, but FaZe Black on the other side. Blast looking for angles. I'm so glad we got to hear from Gabe, but you have to realize we're on some low ground. People can take angles from the right, so you have to be very aware of all sides, especially with all the open windows in these buildings.
There's a look at that zone, by the way. We don't know that we're going to pop off, not yet. It could be more to the military side. We're gonna have to wait and see, but currently this is the exact same rotation that this team Aiden did earlier. Last map, they came up here, grabbed some kills on FaZe Black and other squads up here, and then rotated all the way down to Lowtown when they saw what the new zone was, because we didn't go all the way up to the northern side last map. This time around, they might end up staying up here pending new zone, so watch out for that third circle. We'll try to show it. It's going to be very important for some of these teams that prefer the south, but FaZe continues their reign of terror here in Lowtown as they find kill after kill after kill. Not out of the blender yet with two teams in the area, but right now FaZe, again, they're moving on all cylinders and they're looking very clean for a team that had a lot of ups and downs.
You gotta stay healthy though, especially with multiple teams in the area. Team Clown over there and Team Pentagon just ahead over here in Lowtown. Elsewhere, we have to see which side do we commit to, the military base or pop-off power. The Falcons of the North have been deciding, so they're hanging around that bridge coastal line of things. So where is FaZe going to do when they need to get out of Lowtown all the way on that southern side? But if you're playing for eliminations, especially with all this cash, knowing that that fire sale is about to occur at the top of Circle 3, we get advanced UAVs and we eliminate everyone around us.
Yeah, it's a great shout, and we're actually going to head to the Gulag because COD Immunity hunting the edge of zone loses Unrational. So Rational's going to take a fight against Autorize. This is not an easy one, albeit Super Evan's team haven't had a great day today or yesterday. Autorize, a fantastic player making his debut on land, been playing the game since the beginning. No shots connecting, finally a barrel stuff, and Autorize lives up to the hype, wins the one, forces COD Immunity to play with two for now.
Well, it's okay though. Remember I said that fire sale, but you've got to survive another minute or so, especially it'll be cost-friendly to get Unrational back on in, but Dongi burning alive, 1 HP. Running tempered though, so 2 plates to get him back up to full. Still hunting that. Now you gotta think, 4 eliminations already for this game. If they would have went the distance in that last one, but you don't check the corner, my man is prone over there.
He's got the trade though. Scumman's able to play the trade. We've lost one on the other side too, so this is a 2v1 right now. A great position. We're gonna burn the self just to make sure. Clean up on X and Q and Co means Apac's gonna fall yet again. Send him to the Gulag, likely not fully eliminated, but even still, as expected, COD Immunity, high risk, high reward. It's been paying off this entire tournament. They play edge of zone, they hunt for kills, and they're already on like 8 or 9 as a team. This is a really strong start.
Look, I don't care if they win a game. They need to breach 150, and that's when you win. You don't have to burn those just yet. The race to 150 is live, and with it kind of soaring up with the waterline dead center, it's going to come down to those IGLs to predict which side. Pop-off power, a ton of playable space on there. The Falcons have elected to go further towards the west. As we see, Team COD Immunity get all 3 back. They are on the utmost southern side, and will have one heck of a rotation to make.
Long journey ahead of them, but already on 9 eliminations confirmed by our map feed. Also lighting up the kill feed, you see Omit EU. Where are they? Oh, they're way up on the northern side of military already. So they made a huge wrap up there a while ago, playing for what they believe to be in-game. Historically, they've been nearly right every time. So I'm expecting a military base ending. If I'm an Omit EU fan, that's definitely the better position. And right now, when we look to that map, there is no one in a country mile from the Falcons if they're able to clean up that final player. And Omit EU, they've got some competition.
And Gramalok down, he's quite low. Enkyo, though, still looking for this player. A little ring around the rosy. Zakar just trying to get on out. I'd imagine he's looking for a pace to just turn around, but looks lost, quite frankly, and Enkyo cleans it up.
Just too many, right? When you have player advantage, you're going to win that 9 times out of 10. And they do a good job of not losing a player, right? Unlike what Community experienced before, they played slow, they played together, they got the kill and didn't lose a life. Nice job. Now, again, our zone shoring up either military or pop-off, and teams are kind of split, picking a side and hoping it goes their way. You're going to be seeing, of course, the Falcons on pop-off side, but you also see Omit NA, of course, rotating up into them. You see them falling in the kill feed. Actually, Super Evan's team also on that side, and Falcons are third-partying off on the other side. On screen, you're seeing our Falcons, MENA, also losing a player, as Almond is trying to get out of dodge and rotate around. FaZe picking one up in transition.
It's been quite difficult here as you see the Super Evan squad being wiped, and well, Deus Samir going crazy there for the fluffy aimers. DRN in trouble as well, as now you see that the Falcons have isolated this side of the circle towards themselves. Omit NA looks to be down to at least one. It's Brax, it's Youngsters and Juju in the gulag, and 2 eliminations with Destroy on the other side. We know he gets loud and he's gonna be locked in for this. Juju, you're gonna have to hold on.
It's a tough fight, certainly. Juju's got the gunning. It's a really important fight for Omit NA. It's not life or death, but it is a great fight. Put him in a blender. Put him in a body bag. Send him potentially to the lobby. We'll see. Omit NA needed that one for free. There's no buy stations out here. Not close. Not that aren't contested that we can tell. So Omit NA, they got third party, by the way, from Falcons, like I mentioned. We're able to get out. Now are regaining, heading back into Pop-Off right where they left off.
Well, here comes Team Community Scummin once again on 5 eliminations, still crawling up, trying to maintain the top of the kill leaderboard. Nice in there, just above them. Slow, steady, looking for the angles. Don't want to give up any sound cues, probably looking for a jump up. Unrational Dongi smoking and getting in, making sure that we can hold it. Dongi and Irrational themselves, they'll full send. Honestly, I think Scummin's looking for the jump off.
Yeah, this kill is technically free. The problem is you get another team lurking and waiting. It's a matter of time when you get this kill, and you're just hoping you don't get shot in the back while you're trying to do it, or lose Dongi, who gets over-aggressive sometimes. And luckily, that's a freebie. There it is, and Team 32, they don't shoot right now. So, yeah, we're chilling. Community somehow able to make their way through the lower part of the zone. And guess what? Our new zone has just popped, and it's still dead center, the river, bisecting new zone, showing both military and pop-off, slightly favoring military. Omit EU, free and clear on the northeastern side of the map.
I really love their positioning, right? If I would choose to regain, I would want to clear out the northern side. We've seen a lot of circles try to end on the coast, just on that military base side, and they are brutal. And Omit NA still trying to fight from the west. When you've got this squad, Team Begsy, trying to hold you on out, we need all the eliminations we can get. We still carved to the underground, trophy systems down here, destroy them. We don't want them to intercept anything, but honestly, the choice of running whatever you can find at this point, the smokes, the thermites, the throwing knives, you just gotta be quick with it.
Yeah, and frankly, if you're Omit NA, you actually want this fight as long as you have an opening. You want to fight this team. You feel and you know. I mean, Brax said it straight up. He said if this team, because this team does land near them, if they contest us, they fight us, we win 10 times out of 10. They want this fight, especially because it'll free up this side of the map for them to take a nice rotation in from the western side into the western side of the new zone. They're going to be just south of the Falcons in a really good position, but they've got to run through this squad and get to new as fast as possible.
Looks like Community wiped DRN, and well, still finding Navi here. Zeppa looks to be pushing here. Youngsters, Juju, okay, reuniting inside the room, smoking, get on out. Dongi on 7, more cleanups this time. Davis Mir Castillo, Z-Dark, the fragger trying to hold on, but can't do it.
Right right now, this squad is just inevitable. They're going to find eliminations. This is an unreal amount of kills already. They need this multiplier, and unfortunately in a 3v1, they will fall yet again. They cannot get the placement, but they still find the kills. They had 16 kills, by the way, falling in 27th place. Still a good game somehow, even though they fell in not even, you know, I guess the first half of this lobby.
Yeah, that's a little tough. What is that, a 1.2x multiplier? We were looking for potentially 1.4 exiles on your screen. How many times do they run into the Falcons on the west side? But you've got Begsy, Reload, Omit NA just above them. We are going to collapse on one another, and this is going to be an opportunity for Omit NA, still looking to get their full trio back in, to potentially seek to third party this. But honestly, Soka is going to make quick work of Begsy. There's not going to be any time to third party.
And it does look like CT Black is actually Team 10 that is lurking and waiting, trying to hold. This Panda squad has been incredibly quiet because of their losses at Bazaar. They do have a good position to hold, especially now that the Falcons are down to 2. It becomes a bit easier if they're able to root out where Wsow and Go are. Now, Husker staring at you means, well, I can only just shoot back at him and tell him to stop so I can get into this building and then regain with my team. They've got not a ton of cash, but Shifty died with the majority of it. They're going to have to loot up. This is going to be a tough one for the Falcons. They're going to have to slow down so they can still play for in-game.
Slow? What do you mean? This is the Falcons we're talking about. They're currently sitting on 13 eliminations. They resupply here up on the plates, and we're going to have to find some cash, which means we have to eliminate our enemies around us. That means Omit NA, CT Black. You've got to watch on out, but keep an eye on the exiles. The team looks to take their position.
Yeah, and frankly, this is actually a massive opportunity for the Falcons to gap their main competition. Reminder, they're only up by, what, 2 points on COD Munity? COD Munity dropped 16, a good game, but not a great one, and they're already out of it. So anything that the Falcons get right now is a massive boon for them. Sure, there's other teams in contention, but not that close, so they're trying to make a play here. This is a 3v2. Now Shifty flying back in. Omit NA not knowing that didn't push the equation. They should have swung on Ahsoka and Biffle, and because they didn't, Shifty's in the equation, and now Omit NA are on the run.
Come on, CT Black needs to look at this as well. You can't just stay over there and be third-party innocent bystander. Brax down and out. Juju falling low in health, and Youngsters as well to join them. But now CT Black joins the equation, like you said, and this could be different. They are going to sandwich the Falcons inside this building.
This fight's taking too long for both teams. That Panda squad's lying in wait and ready to take the rest.
Shifty down.
Shifty down for Panda. It's the perfect third party. Panda getting involved finally in this leaderboard, potentially taking out one of the top teams. As we've lost Shifty, Biffle and Ahsoka again, like you said, a nice kill tally, but they need these multipliers. Folks, we still got 23 teams in this lobby as Ahsoka says, okay, you want placement, Goj? Fine, I'll fly to high ground and lurk and lie in wait. We've got enough kills. We need the multi to pay off, so I'm going to let my teammates die and just do my thing.
We're still on the cargo side. We have $70. The self-res comes through. But now, when you've got other teams still looking to gatekeep you, it's Wsow Esports, the end game. We saw them just that fast map, and they were looking to work on cleaning up these squads. Juju just down in front of Youngsters. We don't have a gas mask, no PDS. But the time is right, and we don't even have a smoke. We are just going for it. If we don't see them, we don't look at them, no one knows we're here. But Exiles in the building ahead, Soka in the tower.
It's got to be trigger discipline. Ahsoka just has to sit there and wait. He cannot make a move. If he starts shooting his gun, people are going to know they're going to shoot at him. He needs top 10. This is a great map for them with the multipliers. It's going to stretch the equation. We lose Omit NA in 18th place, so they also don't achieve a massive multi, as Exiles have a decent position, but they lose one and get bunker busted, and Ahsoka is just still playing that high ground position. Who's still alive? It's Team Aiden trying to play spoiler. Could potentially have a really strong game right now to close this gap on the Falcons and COD Munity, having a pretty decent game in their belt and still plenty of multipliers to play for.
Well, you got Insight Gaming owning the train, working on getting to the circle. FaZe Black just ahead of DJ Moss, and this is going to be so epic for them. Now think of a brilliant game if they can just get double-digit eliminations and then maybe a 2x multiplier. They can call the top of the leaderboard after this, depending on what Soka is able to do. But now we go, we get the train, we get the replenish on the ammo. We look forward. FaZe to the right. FaZe Black to the right as well. We need to claim the train.
The battle for the train is currently a brutal one, as Ahsoka is trying to make a huge play here. Has to move to zone, so he goes into the water. Hello, Robstar.
What?
Top kill leader. Sorry, buddy. See you later. Ahsoka now on 5.
We got more plates.
We're creeping up to top 10. Ahsoka knows where he needs to get to. Just make sure he doesn't drown as he's getting shot at. Everybody's looking at him. Everybody's looking at the water. Quite literally, fish in a barrel. So let's smoke and run for cover, or rather swim for it. As exiles the entire team in the water, Revenge Tour in the water. And Ahsoka has a moment to breathe, literally, to replate back up and try to make a play. He's one of the best players in the game for a reason. This is a massive moment, Tiff. Very easily, 3 teams could die in the next 15 seconds. That could be all he needs to make it to top 10 and get a nice multiplier to move on his merry way to further up this leaderboard.
They don't know there's a shark in the water.
Wiz.
The fact that no one has found out yet. A stun connects. We're still peeking. Here comes the damage. Not a lot. We're moving straight on over, but back to swag we go. We talked about the battle for the train, and well, we're working on it.
He's done it. Hisoka is out, but he got 10th. He got his multiplier. An unreal effort. A great game, but we're just now into the end game, and the battle for the train is deep in the gas. This train will not stop not right now. So Saint puts the kills, picks up Thanx in transition, and Adrian's able to make it to zone. Makes it into the top 8, looking for top 5. Aiden and Z-Smith, a duo, off to the edge of the map. Hunting kills in gas as well. Omit EU still in this, way deep in the gas, probably PDSing, hoping for the zone pull.
Team Aiden just wiped. Down to the final 5 we go. Little A, a solo here on your screen. 1 elimination, no money to buy the teammates back, and look at the pool for them. Every elimination here will be worth 1.8 if we can get them. The static HV, all we have, thanks to the base mag of 50, could do the work. But FLS down. Gooey last standing, and well, you've got the Exiles. They've already won 1, and they're looking to go back to full form. But not. They get wiped. Gooey clutches. FLS is up. This is crazy.
Exiles are fully eliminated. Gooey's on 11 eliminations. Omid EU so deep in the gas with so many PDSs. Inkyo a solo. It's a 2v1v1 with Adrian on one side, Inkyo on the other. They're pushing Inkyo. Adrian has a third-party possibility, but he's low down. He can't make the play. Omid EU goes down. It's the final 2 teams, and it's Adrian as a solo. He's got to win 1v2 with the PDS. Adrian, this is going to be a brutal fight, my man. I'm not sure you can do it. It's going to be Gooey. FLS on top. They did fantastic yesterday. Fantastic consistency. Welcome back to the podium. Welcome back to the main stage. That was a gigantic game from a trio not a lot of folks expected a ton from.
Well, the North are looking pretty good in the North as they clear that on out, get that 2x multiplier. We saw the moments of brilliance throughout day number 1. Every time they were the ones that were putting detriment down towards the Falcons, and well, they keep on doing it. That 2x multiplier, hoping to shoot them up the leaderboard.
Man, what a finish. And again, a huge shout out to Omit EU for making it to the end zone. Adrian, of course, as well. But this squad, unreal amount of eliminations, at least from the side of Gooey with 11. I'm sure they passed a couple across. I mean, that's a 30-point game at least, and then some. This leaderboard, folks, is so incredibly close. And they're celebrating one of their players right now, because that was a big win for them. We saw FaZe Black jump from way down bottom of the leaderboard all the way up to 4th place. That's how close this leaderboard is. This team likely about to do the same. We could very easily see them into the top 5, at the very least top 10.
This is where I start getting really excited, because I love when I am wrong, and I love when we get a real 6 series on our hands, especially with all the points being so close to the top of the leaderboard. Hey, well, a new challenger has arisen.
Wow. And again, this is one of those teams we talked about, like in the green room, building up to this event. I mean, maybe, right? They've had moments and glimpses of greatness, especially recently in scrims and tourneys, but I didn't expect them to show out this big on main stage, especially into day 2. Very proud of this team. They are dominating right now in that map. It's a big, big map for them. And after their first drop disaster in day 1, they turned it all around and were hyper consistent up until now. So very cool stuff from the squad. I'm excited to look at this last stand and see how it all panned out and how they won this one. And again, it goes back to this moment. Again, we've got to tip our hat every time we look at these last stands, because Ahsoka was barely able to make it to top 10. And look who actually killed him. It was Gooey, the thorn in their side, back in their side. And we can see where they were. They were on ultimate high ground, so they had the best position and the most information.
Exactly, and even though the Exiles look to try and clear it all out, this fight right here essentially wins them the game. The 3v2, FLS down and out first claps, and this is where the clutch comes in. It's Gooey, right? Tries to finesse around, FLS gets back on up, hits the trades, and then we just focus on the North. The LTV to kind of get closer over towards Enkyo. Sure, yeah, we're running into a couple of loadouts. That's no big deal. But what's even kind of crazy here is we're shooting the trophy system before we actually shoot Enkyo. And he elects to just kind of dive away before turning around to fight them. And you essentially get sandwiched by the North.
And unfortunately, it just looked like Adrian wasn't able to be the mountain goat that we needed him to be to get up here to actually third party. He was about 2 seconds late, which frankly in Warzone is way too long. There was a chance Adrian could have won that fight. He needed to be there when they addressed each other. It's the classic moment in the end game where you've got to be the third party. You can't be late to the party. So we're going to head down to the stage with Miles with an interview on the stage.
Thank you, guys. A very special guest. The second time we've got to speak today, man. Firstly, congratulations on a very, very exciting win. What were the final moments like for you and the team?
I mean, we were like flowing. Everything was going like we wanted it to be. No one died. So, yeah, perfect.
Perfect. We love the sound of that. Perfect. It can't always be perfect. And that's why you're wearing this. Now, for the folks at home who don't know, you got given this when you were the first team eliminated from the competition. And we saw each other in the hotel yesterday. Do you remember what you said to me?
I said I want to wear the medal when we win a map tomorrow.
And you're a man of your word. You said you'd win it, you'd wear it, and here we are. Incredible turnaround, man. You've got some points now. You're flying up the board. How's the team feeling? What's the mood like in the camp?
I think this is what we needed to get really back into it. Yeah.
Well, man, I wish you the best of luck, sir. Good luck with the next one. We'll see you later. Back to the desk.
Oh, yeah, back to the desk. Game number 5 has concluded. How many games will we get today? Well, we at least have a couple of more before the 150-point threshold has been reached, right? Which, again, people are already saying we would be at 150 points by this point, and, well, we haven't reached it. Gooey, by the way, making good on his promise, saying, hey, I said we were going to win a game today, and they did exactly that. Talk to me about Team North. I mean, coming out of nowhere, they were relatively quiet yesterday. They did have big moments, specifically with FLS challenging, I believe, Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, taking them down early. But today, they've been non-existent. Now they're here.
Yeah, what I love about this team is that they've decided to change a couple of things in terms of their strategy. 2 Danish lads, 1 Swedish. They have practiced varying drop spots. The one thing I can accuse them of sometimes is being a little bit passive on the slaying front. And they actually came into this game with just 23 kills on the board, sat very much so in mid-table here today. They go absolutely huge there. Pick up much more kills in terms of your aggression. See Gooey there finishing on double digits, and that's what I want to see from this team. A wonderful set of guys, and I'd love to see them continue to put on through this tournament. Go just brought it up a few times. They tend to start slow and then pick up through the rest of the tournament. They did that in finals. They've done that here yesterday, and then it looks like they may well do that again today.
Well, the good news is we could have 10, 20 games, so if they continue to pick it up by game 15, who knows, they might be on top. As we look at our highlights from game number 5, you start to notice some big hitters are falling a little bit early. Dream, Team Falcons, 10th place. Hisoka seems to be the one hanging on by a thread consistently, not necessarily because he's playing bad, but because he's put in that position. But one good thing he does is he gets the placement points, gets the multiplier.
Yeah, and that's one of the things for the Falcons, too, as it just really seems like Hisoka's kind of one of the players that does get picked off first, and, like, they're just always trying to find this situation where they need to regain. And, you know, Biffle coming out clutch was able to res Soka, so him staying alive as long as he did in the water, as you saw him trying to swim around and just staying alive, I still think they hit, what, at 1.6 multiplier.
1.6 is good, and Aiden as well, 6th place, right? We're talking about the 2 heavy hitters currently on the standings.
Yeah, but the thing that kind of troubles me about that is if Team Aiden is able to just survive for one more team placement, you go from a 1.6 to a 1.8, and in a game where the Falcons are struggling, these are the opportunities that you have to sort of jump up the leaderboard and usurp that throne. So while Falcons maybe sure are having some of these games that are a little bit lackluster, what I'm not seeing is the other teams that are poised to take those points away, being able to jump up the leaderboard, right? So being able to go down in 6, yeah, you're missing out on that 1.8 times multiplier, and those type of small differences could be the make or break between you being on top.
Well, the thing is, Falcons have had 2 relatively lackluster games for what we're expecting, and let's not make a mistake, they haven't won a game today, which is totally polar opposite of what it was yesterday. They're still in first place. I want to make that very abundantly clear. They're still in first place, but teams need to be capitalizing off of Falcons not finishing where we are used to seeing them. In the past 2 games, I don't feel continuity, even though they did close that gap. This game wasn't as good. Aiden and them missing out on that multiplier. They could have definitely passed up Team Falcons in the points region. But again, circling back, we have Team North. taking first place in a very dominating fashion. Gooey with, what, 12 eliminations by the finish, maybe 13. Dream, that is huge.
Yeah, absolutely huge, too. And it just seems like a lot of these teams just picking up as many eliminations as they can, because even when you see teams kind of take away with that leaderboard, those bottom half teams are really going to start to fire up, and we're continuing to see that. And I mean, even for you look at COD Community 2, teams that just have 23 eliminations, that is absolutely insane. But for Team North, having 23 and being able to pick up that win, all smiles around.
Clavs in, Gooey, FLS, making it happen. Like we said, Gooey, or like he said, I should say, making good on the promise of winning a game today. They did exactly that. Enigma, EMEA, we were talking about them fighting each other. Stop it. We just want to continue to move forward, focus on the other regions. Well, Gooey winning in the way they did, that's good news.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's, again, another belief moment. It's one of those big times where we've not had a good day, quite frankly, in this region. And suddenly you see them pick up that kind of victory. A lot of kills involved as well. It's not a passive one. It's not one where you've hidden away and played in towards the end zone, maybe picked up a few kills. We're not talking about like a 5-point victory. This is going to be absolutely massive for them, lift them way into the conversation when we're talking about prize money. And all of a sudden, you know, we've seen it with squads like the Falcons. We've seen it with several of our other squads. As soon as you get that one under your belt, you suddenly feel a lot better about your decision-making through your afternoon.
You know, another team that's been playing very well, we've highlighted them, I think, literally every single game, and that's Team FaZe, right? Swag, Sage, and Adrian, the young gun, playing so very well, finishing towards the top end of that last game. They continue to elevate themselves up in the standings, and speaking of which, let's get caught up with how the standings are currently looking. So, no surprise, Falcons are still in first. COD Immunity is hot on their heels. And Team Aiden, kind of that gap starts to grow a bit, right? 24 total points between the two.
Yeah, the thing is, though, you kind of mentioned it. Falcons haven't won a game today, but honestly, that doesn't worry me. We've seen multiple tournaments where Team Falcons have not won a singular game until they get onto that match point, and then they win the only game that honestly matters. So even though to be able to see them be able to come on up, they're at 124 points. It's a little bit kind of great to see. They only need 26 more points to get there.
And looking at FaZe in fourth place, let's talk about them, Enigma.
Yeah, honestly, I think that a lot of conversation has got to go not just to Swag, the man on your screen right now, but that guy in the middle, Sage. Got to remember, this is his tournament to defend. He won the World Series last year with Shifty, with Biffle. Obviously, you know, very controversial dropping going on there. There was a little bit of bad blood from Sage. We saw that at the Esports World Cup, right? We were talking to him in the back, and he was hoping that they would have a bit of a downfall in that tournament. Didn't end up happening, but maybe he's going to be a part of it here today.
Hey, and he's even watching Polstech, by the way. He's staying informed with all the standings and making sure what's going on. Shout out to Polstech. They're actually up top in the venue. Repulse was here yesterday. It was great to hear his perspective. We look at our Elim leaderboards coming actually in first place. Dongy just below him. Now, again, we go back to COD Immunity. Dream, they've been on fire.
Yeah, absolutely insane. And I mean, you know, with COD Immunity 2, there was like speculation what these guys were on vacation. They weren't sure how they were going to do. But then, you know, coming back, getting back into top form, and here now on land, proving a point that they should be here. They're doing incredible.
I want to clarify, by the way, that when I said that Scumming was the worst player here at the pre-show...
Would you say that?
In the context...
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, when he was walk around. I was joking. This guy can get super aggressive. The one thing that sometimes worries me is consistency, but that is not an issue today. We're seeing him involved in all the big engagements with his team, being a part of it, not off by himself. That's something that you can worry about with the leash.
I was going to say that, not off by himself, because you remember that one engagement where he was literally pre-aiming holding, right? He's just doing things where he's slowing down, and that's key.
Yeah, and I mean, we even saw that, though, I think a little bit in a rough spot, where in that last game, they could have 16 eliminations, but land in 27. So while they're doing great, I need to see them lock it in a little bit more for these future games.
Well, if they lock it in, they should surpass 150. And let's take note, right now, Team Falcons are sitting at 124. That threshold to be eligible for match point is 150. Do they reach it in this game number 6? Well, let's find out as game number 6 is ready to go. Let's send it over to our casters, Spider Tip and Goj.
Thank you so much, Taylor Reflections Noble. As per the usual, a fantastic breakdown and no crazy predictions from him. I appreciate that. Now, Tiff, we looked at that leaderboard as well, and we were very surprised by the margins right now. They are so incredibly thin, and I really wanted to talk about that FaZe team. The fact that not only are they top 5, they're consistently up there. They're consistently finding ways to make their bad games into good ones. pretty impressive stuff to be top 5 and a chance to win a crazy amount of cash.
Yeah, it's going to get really wild here soon, especially we were crunching some numbers, removing starting points, and looking at the averages that some of these teams were kind of operating on. Like the Falcons yesterday, 34 points per game on average. Today, well, they're performing at about half of that, 16.8, which is allowing teams like COD Unity to jump up the leaderboard and chase them down. They're averaging 17.6. Turn to Team Aiden, 14. That's why we are so close. The only thing that's really kind of saving them is those advanced starting points, the 10 that they acquired by getting first.
Well, yeah, and it's exactly what we said yesterday. Yesterday was very important. They still have a lead, but we've got to draw our attention back to that 150-point threshold. We are 26 points away if you're Team Falcons. That is so well within their reach that it's almost inevitable at this point. They haven't had a fantastic map, so because of that, this is now their time to breach the threshold and be the first team that would get on to Call of Duty Warzone match point.
Yeah, but I mean, look, just those 10 points, right? The 40 comparison to the 30. If I'm Team COD Unity right now, I need to put down the banger. I need to breach 150 in this game. You know they got the eliminations. It's just being on that better side of the zone. We're talking about the risk. You go where the people are, you find the eliminations, but it's the timing to get ahead of them that you need to make sure you're getting those multipliers. We saw Soka solo making sure he could do the most that he can. Will the Falcons fall here on land? We know they're in first, but can they get to 150? Get that win condition here. Let's get into it. Another map in Vegas.
The stakes couldn't be higher. 26 points for Team Falcons to breach our 150-point threshold. 32 points for Team COD Unity and 50 points for Team Aiden. All well within reach with FaZe 60 points away as well. Sure, once you breach it, you're not done yet. You have to get a win, but you have to play a totally different game after you breach that threshold. We're excited to jump in with the Falcons and see if anybody decides to contest them already. The answer is certainly and definitely no. However, this is the same story we've been telling for the last, I guess, 11 maps that we've played between 2 days. So something is not going well for them in rotation. And with this new zone, it is very centrally located. We could see ourselves all the way back to Lowtown again.
Well, back to Rostava shops for the home of Amit NA we go. I love that spot for loot. A ton of cash registers, a quick loadout you can. But for Team COD Unity, the one rivaling all of the eliminations on the board, 6 points away from the Falcons. We do see Exiles getting wiped off the rip. Quite unfortunate there for the Levin Resort side of things. To the Gulag they go, but a calm start for COD Unity.
Here's what's so interesting about this COD Unity team. We knew they were high risk, high reward. We knew they would be frying out for kills. They had 16 kills last game and they fell in the 20s, all right? Now, Exiles have had a great tourney thus far, really consistent, maybe until now. All 3 in the Gulag, and it looks like Cloud9 on the other side. Getting the better of his opponent. Jack makes that one look easy. Down goes 4 and Jays. Cloud9 still in the blender, unfortunately.
But it was a must-win. Jackal was the only one who won the Gulag.
Oh, wow, yeah, that'll
So
fake
good
you
thing
up.
he made it look easy. He's got $1,500 in a dream at this point, and where do we go from here? We're spawning over by the manor. Well, this is a heck of a lot of like, we're talking Levin was all the way on that western side of things, but the FaZe squad that is looking so strong here, 90.8 points on the board. Sage finding final form, and well, when you've got Showstopper, you've got King AJ here, hold a breacher drone, have a couple.
How about 3? Why not? Able to ward off at least one, but a push and a flank and a swing. Vision goes down. Nice trades here from the side of Adrian and co. FaZe is in final form, in final 5, in top 5, looking to make it top 3 and counting. So much money exchanging hands at the top. $300,000 if you can win it all, and it's still within reach for that FaZe team. And Omit EU has quickly swung up to Bazaar. So take a look at who won this time around. It looks like that Panda team actually won. Now getting third party, Omit EU says you're not going to get paid for it, not this time.
They didn't win anything but a third party and a visit from Mid EU. Only 34 eliminations from the prior maps. Not where they want to be. 10th place for now. Got to jump up the leaderboard if they can. It starts here. And Kyo, though, has to find Resolve. Resolve breaches and just gets one more bullet, but the trade is there from the teammates. We save a Gulag. Elsewhere, we did see that wild card Team Colony 2K in the distance. FIFA kill on high ground. Omit NA. Youngstas running for the hills.
And this is where Omit NA usually drops, very close to it. And it looks like the FIFA Kill squad has actually swung down a lot more aggressively this time around. Omit NA said they never chow us, and we always win when they do. We'll see if that continues to be true, as Brax has bailed on his teammate. Youngst is all alone right now. Just going to be looking to isolate some ones. Will he win a 1v3? It is nearly impossible. It is possible, but it's nearly impossible. And Young, I think, is just trying to stay alive and buy Brax some time. He buys him plenty of time, but 2 swinging in, there's just no chance Youngsters can get out of this one.
Wait, did we stick that? I know we're losing our life. You said it. We're giving Brax the time with the cash to get away and hit that full buyback. But Team Community, you've got Unrational Moors in hand. We do see Youngsters in the gulag. We don't have to hit the buyback just yet. But here we go. Welcome back, Juju. More eliminations for us, and Restava Shops, the home, our beloved, to be able to hit a regain.
And only one in the area now, so they've got plenty of time. I do think Brax is going to make sure that that's the case. Got eyes in the sky and a recon drone, so plenty of info to tell Juju, hey, all is clear. You can come down and hang out with us. We'll see where they go from here. But we got to take a look at this new zone because it was very centrally located, and new stays very centrally located. Community continues to hunt the edge of zone, but our zone that is showing is actually favoring slightly to the west. We could see one of the first cargo ins we've seen in a very long time. We could head all the way back over to Seaport, kind of cargo, but frankly, I'm looking at that area between Low Town, Old Town, and cargo as the main spots, dead center of the map. Like always, all day yesterday we were at Old Town, Low Town, and I expect us to go back.
Well, here we go. We're still looking for the remnants of the Falcons MENA team here, scumming on 1, but the battle of the staircases ensued. The Tempered gonna eat that thermite a bit, a dolphin dive, and a bit of a snazzy play there. Still unable to get this isolated 1v1. The shots go out, but Resolute gives them the advantage. Still, can we connect the thermite through the window, thread it through?
This is a 1v1 for the ages, apparently. Edge of zone, Zix is doing everything in his power to win this one, and frankly, may have. Unfortunately, Dongy said, all right, I'm coming, Scum. You couldn't clean up one. Let me help you out. There's the pinch. Well done. Helps his buddy out, and they're going to move on then right away. Again, reminder, Scummin is our top fragger right now with Dongy. They're actually tied at the top. 2 players from Community, both on 27 kills apiece. There's no wonder that they're at the top of the leaderboard. They're very close to it.
Well, there's a reason why they are one of the only teams that have been able to beat the Falcons at this format. But Omit NA still trying to get out of this area, still on a regain. But you got to check in with FaZe Black. Things are always looking crazy over in military base, and Navi is one that is always being fought by them. But there goes Levi down and out. We heard from Gabe earlier. He said anything is possible, and this regain that we've seen from them is they're climbing the leaderboards, and they just keep on moving up.
Apparently Championship Sunday is for the FaZe teams. My goodness. If you're wondering where's Navi today, they had a good day yesterday. It's, well, dead, because FaZe Black's been fighting them and winning 9 times out of 10, it seems. And another regame from Panda Squad after the Bazaar lost to Omit Inkyo and them. Omit EU. You go over to military base and thinks you're going to get anything, you are dead wrong. Go to the Falcons, who are on the hunt, quite literally flying above their opponents, trying to figure out who are we going to take down in transition, and where do we go from here? Do we just want to hold Pop-Off for now? It could go north. It is possible that this final zone does go to Pop-Off.
Soko over here piloting the helicopter. I thought we were actually going to drop Shifty and Biffle off on someone, but seems like you've got Hallow on the upper ground, just on the outskirts here. But we're working on the positioning, still on the prowl. Mind you, we set it 26 points to get them to 150, and we know what their close rate is on the win condition format. They call Soko the closer for a reason here, but back to Team Aiden, someone who wants to put the rest of the detriment into the dynasty. They need eliminations, but we got to get Aiden back on his feet and inside. Here we go. Z Smith getting Aiden back into the fray. 50 points is needed for this squad.
Yeah, Team Aiden has a rhythm. They have a rhyme to all the success they've found along the way. They head up, they take a look at military, they didn't like it this time, so they head all the way back down to Low Town and rotate into Old Town. This is what they've been doing all day today, and it's been working. This time, because they didn't find the kills in military, they don't have hardly a single kill to their name, and they're trying to find them now. This is one of those scary moments when you don't have early game eliminations, and it looks like maybe Aiden got fastball special right to the face by a thermite. Will get picked up here. It's going to give a moment of reprieve for their opponents. this is a scary moment when you have to play for kills in this kind of early mid game because you're not going to have anything for your multipliers if you just lurk and wait till final 10. So instead, they're having to hunt right now in that low town, old town area on the transition.
I think more people are just starting to rotate into the Falcons early on. We saw them battling up there in the north with Team FIFA Kill and other squads in the neighboring vicinity. It's going to be Navi, though, but there's a couple people from military base taking angles, and Falcons, well, they're going for Levi. They want to clean out the north and claim it for themselves.
Yeah, a couple quick notes on that. As per the usual, Community in the 20, way down at the bottom of the map on the edge of zone, fighting everybody else in City. They said all of these are free. Scummin quite literally said, we love landing City because everybody else is terrible, so we get to kill everybody. And apparently it's true, at least according to them. Down by 5 right now on the Falcons with the scores coming in from this one. They have a nice amount of kills. They've lost Scummin, and they're still fighting around high rise with a couple other teams in the area, specifically Vitality, who's come back to claim what was theirs apparently. Said, we don't drop here anymore, but we want to kill you because you took our drop spot and you chalked our turn.
Patsuka, the drop down from Unrational, rips that. It's the Resolute, though, that keeps Patsuka alive. Dongy looking for the trade, gets it, puts him to 29 eliminations, looking for 30. Luckily, Unrational still has that gulag in the back pocket, but Dongy now owns high rise to himself. Will have to hit the rotate, and Patsuka, well, we saw what just happened. This is where I get my vengeance.
I want your high ground. I want your drop spot. I want your body. No, Patsuka with the barrel stuff. This is a big one for Scummin. He's got to get back and help his teammate out, and it looks like he was able to do that. So we're going to see 2 Community members still in this one with 8 kills in total as we immediately swap back over to NA, who are back on their feet finding kills. Now he's got a decent spot up here. Unfortunately, a couple well-placed thermites is going to make this a true 2v2 with Vieira, a massive content creator, being subbed in for this squad. They've played spoiler to some teams, but not doing a lot of work on that leaderboard itself.
Well, I love that Brax, after taking damage, is trying to get back with Youngsters. If they combine forces, they have enough cash to get him back into the game, bring Juju back. Now, quite frankly, this Omit NA roster has achieved so much over the past couple of months, and I'm excited to see them keep on growing. But let's keep a move on. We got Wsow Esports just ahead. You see Team Colony 2K, that recent map win from Clavson, FLS GUI, the North, and Team Aiden just on the lower side of Old Town here. We keep on moving, and you have to place the bet. Do you play from the cargo side? Do you play from the Old Town? With the majority of the playable space on Old Town, I like this play.
And again, that North squad, that Clavson team, they jumped, like we said, up into the top 10, all the way up to, I believe, 7th place on our leaderboard, very close to it. So they are in pole position to take a ton of cash and potentially play for the win if they can get another one. Back to the Falcons we go, to the true north of the map, up to the south side of Pop-Up. Only team in the area is this squad right now. It's that Eric squad that is in the LTV or driving around. Everybody else is to the south of them. You're going to see a couple teams in cargo, especially that Super Evans squad, who again, not making waves on the leaderboard, but still playing spoiler to some really good teams, including this one. They drop in cargo. They are hanging out in cargo. This is Super Evans' game to win, and they need it back.
Well, we're still climbing. We needed 26. Now we need 20. It can be done here. We can breach 150 if we keep firing like we are. Currently Wars, Louis CT, Bubble CT, Bubble down, fighting that APAC team. Even Omit NA still getting into the mix early on, but it's the Falcons who are looking to claim the space. No one is around them. You have to think Omit NA just on the western side, playing around that zip. We'll have to rotate on in, but with all of the information that Falcons have, I know they're going to start popping UAVs. They're going to go on the hunt to allow themselves to breach 150 this map. The question is, who will cut them down?
Yeah, Vieira's going to fall here, so the Falcons get a couple more added to their tally. 17 away and maybe make that 16, but the multipliers will continue to tick that number up regardless of kills. With the cargo zone pull, by the way, I guess everything worth having is worth working for because the Community team has to work so hard on these rotations through a crazy amount of teams to even get to zone. Community is still outside of zone and fighting several teams on the transition. Specifically, Team 22. We've seen this team play spoilers several times and even grab a win. That's DRN, Destroy Squad, flying in off of a zip, probably the next team this community squad's going to have to fight because they are in the way of this squad getting to zone.
Yikes, Echo going up against the former teammates. Bubble getting the trade elsewhere. That's pretty brutal. Good look at DRN here, just from above. Now listen what we're doing here. Community getting the intel contracts. They want to know where the next circle is going to pull so they can make way to the north. From Seatown we go. You mentioned the water. That cross is going to be difficult, but we need to clear out this specific area. And that isolated fight with DRN, that could be feisty.
Yeah, and again, they only need 32 points. They're on 9 kills already, community to be exact. They've got a really good chance of potentially breaching our threshold. They need to at least get top 5. Now, FaZe Squad, they're still 60 points away, but in top 5 on the leaderboard, and they want to try to better their standings and get as close as they can. If the Falcons get past 150, they need to be close. Sage pushing the equation. A great Slayer today, continuing to find players out of position. Lana trying to make a play. It's not enough. FaZe is on top right now. They're nearly unstoppable, winning yet again another good team fight without losing a player.
Sage, 21 eliminations on the day thus far. A previous LAN champ and wants to do it again. Sitting in 4th place, about to encompass that triple digits. But Omit EU have decided to lay claim to the north. They said, oh, you want a challenger? I see you, Falcons. I know this is your terrain, but community on the other side. Here's that look, the lay of the land. Soka isolated to the south, looking to kind of collapse around the gas station that Gromalock and Heeds are. We know Enkyo's a fragger, but he has to find Shifty. Biffle on 6, though.
This is maybe make or break for Omit EU. They have got to win that fight, and we'll continue to check in with them. That fight will probably take a while because community, again hunting edge of zone, says, hey, let's take a look at maybe some other squads in our area. Let's continue to rack up the kills. We only need 32 points, folks. This is easy right now. We're already on 12, by the way. I said it was 9. They scored 3 when we checked in with those other teams. Now the fight on the other side. I love. Let's keep hot swapping back and forth. These are crucial moments right now. And Omit EU now in a fly trap with a Soka on one side, Shifty and Biffle on the other. They push the equation. Grom in trouble, but no shots hit. Several thermites zoning Shifty off. He's got to address this fight from another angle. Come swinging in the gas station. Said, hello, for your cat. He says no. Yet again, he's playing spoiler. Biffle getting into the mix. Shifty getting in the mix, and they take him out. Omit EU cut down, only losing 1. The Falcons on top. The Falcons that much closer to making it to 150 points. And in the meantime, community in deep trouble.
Where is Enkyo? I know FaZe Black. It was flanked, I believe, that knocked him earlier before that fight actually occurred. Dongy down below the catacombs there beneath the sea here. Swag, Adrian. Oh, 7, last alive. Just seems to be the nature of the game for them. 26 teams still up. Yes, they can frag, but it's getting into the end games. It's getting the multipliers and letting those points culminate. 125.2. We are within striking distance. Let's say you win this game. There is a good chance that you breach 150 for Team Community.
Okay, reminder, by the way, the Falcons needed, what, 25.8 points or something similar to it.
Okay.
They have 13 kills right now. If they get a win without a single another elimination, they've done it. They're likely going to do it if they pick up more kills in the rotation. It looks like Soka was able to get some. We still got to keep our eyes on Dongy because, like you said, community is still in the equation, albeit entirely on the back of the young Dongy.
And I'm really nervous here. You're just tanking gas at this point. You have FaZe above you. And that rotate, the trigger discipline, we have to time this to perfection because now we are just reaping. But back to the Falcons we go. Someone else has tried to lay claim. It's going to be Team Echo. Oki, Prodigy to the left, Echo to the right. They said they wanted to come out swinging today. They're outside the top 5. Soka about to be here in a 2v2. Oki, the thermite, it connects. He's down, he's out, and Prodigy is just trying to reassess.
This is now 15 kills, by the way. Folks at home that want to do the math, 1.8 times multipliers, what they're looking for if we can make it to top 5. We still have 22 teams remaining. We have so far to go in this, but they've done enough from the kills category. They need the multipliers now, and they cannot get caught in the third party. Omit NA wants a piece of this. Prodigy says, give it to me instead. Picks up Shifty, but can't clean him up, and down goes Echo, which means Prodigy's team completely in a blender, and just a solo trying to play spoiler.
Okay, Omit NA, 3 up in the north. Let's see what they can do. Taking the angles, and Biffle is just like, I've got to play a heady here. We've got more smokes. We'll check in with them later, but that is going to decide the entirety of the game. Mortar's going back and forth, and now FaZe, just a duo. You look, you've got Team Aiden, you've got the Exiles. Everyone is on the south side in cargo.
This is the best case scenario for the Falcons. They have enough kills right now as FaZe is in trouble. All they need is some multis. Look at their score in the top right-hand corner. They need 10 points. They get that by just staying alive. So we go to FaZe and Team Aiden, both vying for position, jockeying on this leaderboard. This time, Aiden gonna come out on top. FaZe fully eliminated in, I think, 18th place. Not a ton of multis. FaZe might drop out of the top 5, going into potentially what could be the last game, pending the way this one ends.
Community down and out. Team Aiden looking for elims. 106 points. Drops the PDS, looks for the regain. Z-Smith likely about to get picked up here. We have a PDS in the back pocket. Everyone rotating in will take each other out, but it is the Falcons who own the North.
It's best case scenario. The Falcons can just lie in wait, let everybody kill each other, and take a 1.8 times multiplier. They have zone, they have high ground, they have everything they need, and all the teams that are contesting them are wiping each other on the south side of the map. We're about to get into the top 10. We see DRN just barely fall out of top 10, go 11th. The Falcons are just mere milliseconds away from breaching 150 points. This will not end the tourney, but it does put us in the win condition for the Falcons to win any map from here on out and win the whole tourney if they can survive just a little bit longer.
But who will challenge them? Look at the leaderboard, 147.8. If they get top 5, if they get that 1.8, it's likely that they breach 150.
Well, all eyes turned towards Aiden. They needed a 50-point game. I don't think they're going to get it. They're deep in the gas with a Thermite on their heads. They've got a PDS. Sure, all 3 up. Potentially could sneak into top 5 here if they maybe got a couple more PDSs. It's a good play, but it does look like CT Red's getting mixy in the middle of this one. Davis Amir, Dark, Castillo, all 3 up and taking a nice position right underneath FLS. They've cleared out this building right on the edge of zone and have found a nice amount of kills in rotation. You can only expect CT Red to have a great game here and jump this leaderboard quite dramatically as FaZe Black is still in the mix. We said FaZe was out. Not both phases. We got Flank on 6 again. This man is turning up on land on day 2, but deep in the gas, we are not out of the weeds yet.
This is tough. Look at that pull. The Falcons will have priority to it, and everyone on the opposing side. What do you do to breach the gap? They're already playing angles, and flanked, you're on the opposing side. We have to filter towards the north, but we want the eliminations from Dark, from Castillo. Wow. This will help, especially when we're about to be in the top 5 multi.
Yeah, quite literally playing the definition of a spoiler right now. Just shooting backs from the gas, and I think they've maybe missed one. They didn't see FLS on top. Oh, now there he is. See what Flank can do. Strixie's trying to make a heroic play, but the Falcons have done it, folks. You see the leaderboard. They're past our threshold. This tournament is not over, but we are one step closer, and the question is, will they close it out in a victory on the other side? Super Evan has no chance. The Falcons finally fly to their very first victory of day 2, and they breach our threshold. They are back, and they are ready to play.
It only took them 6 games to find the form that we are used to seeing and have been the entire year here in competitive Warzone for Urzikstan. The family, the hype crew, front and center for the boys, and well, we saw how many eliminations they had. That 2x multi goes the distance. They breached 150, and now all they have to do is win 1 more.
That was nearly a 40-point game, it seemed. They did well enough to make sure they breached that 150-point threshold. All they have to do is win, like you said, Tiff. And if history repeats itself, at this point, it might be a coin flip. Do they win next game or the following? We are running out of runway for the rest of these teams to make a play for the win. Are we done? No, but we are very, very close, folks. And Community didn't do enough. Team Aiden didn't do enough. They are still playing for points while the Falcons are playing for the win.
And if those 2 squads in the next map don't breach 150, you cannot give the Falcons any more games. Now, mind you, I've seen them close it out in 2. I've seen them close it out in 1, but max 3, maybe just a couple more. This could be very well near the end of the tournament.
It's close, but job's not done, and I'm still so impressed with FaZe Black making it into the top 5. They've likely secured a spot to top 5 to the end of the tourney. They're very consistent today in day 2. I would love to get a chance maybe after this tourney to talk to Flanked & Co. to see what's so different. A fantastic performance to make a crazy amount of money potentially, but job is not done. I'd love to take a look back at that last stand, see how it all panned out. As expected, we knew from like zone 5 that the Falcons were gonna win it. They had zone position, they had high ground, and the question is what happened to the rest of the teams on the south side. So let's take a look, and Tiff, break it down for me, because look at this high ground position. They had the zone pull, but it was this fight down on the south side in Cargo. Everybody else was just wiping each other.
I mean, when you hold the majority of the circle and everyone's hailing from the south, this is all post that omit EU fight against the Falcons for the north, with everyone kind of whittling each other down. You just look at this shot. This shot says everything. Soka and Biffle, the firing squad, Shifty even trying to get crazy. Throughout this, all they're doing is using those ARs to put a couple bullets into some of these players and find multiple eliminations. They get a bit of dark. They go and grab some more. And then Strixie's like, all right, look, I'm going to try to make a play for it. They look for the rotate early, but we are just feeding the Falcons eliminations at this point. So we say, can the Wolf do it?
Yeah, Wolf not going to win that one. I will say, again, I always tip my hat to somebody in the last stand, and I will tip my hat to Super Evan. Like we expected, Cargo was theirs. They get second place, likely going to jump up the leaderboard. But we're going to head down to the stage and hear what Shifty has to say.
Thank you very much, team. Yeah, Shifty. Man, I missed you. Where have you been? What's been going on in this tournament?
Man, we've been asleep, man, but we're woken now. We're woken.
It's a scary thought, man. I mean, you're over 150 points now, the way the rules go. If you win the next match, or if you win any of the next matches from here on out, you're champions. It sounds easy, but what does it really mean?
I mean, we just got to close. You know, we made a roster decision to get a closer, so now it's all, you know, Soak's going to do what he does best. We're going to fucking listen to him, and we're going to close it out. You know, we've had a kind of a struggle today, but at the same time, we've been struggling, and we haven't dropped out at first, so we're just going to finish it out.
Time to finish it out. One more map is all you need. I wish you the best of luck, sir. Get back up there. Get ready to do it. Could be one more, team. Let's find out on the other side.
All right, there it is. Shifty said, look, we brought Hisoka on for a reason, and that reason is to close out. We've been talking all qualifiers long. Matter of fact, taking a step back even further, since this team formed, that Hisoka was brought on not only to IGL, but to be the closer. There has been no moment in time. You can disregard all the online tournaments, despite their impressive record ever. There's only one map that they need to close out now that matters, and that's whatever map they end up closing out here. And it could be this very one. They're the first team to pass the 150-point threshold. Dandro, they said it best, right? Yeah, they've had their struggles. They haven't been looking in their full form, but they've also been in first place despite that.
I think that's a beautiful way to put it right from Shifty's mouth itself, right? That, yeah, they haven't won a map yet today. It hasn't been looking great, but they've still been on top the entire step of the way, okay? So I had really kind of no worry about it. We've seen multiple tournaments, like I said, where they haven't won a game, and then when they get to match point, they win the one that matters. It feels like that's what today is. But what kind of stuck out to me in that game was that he said it best. They came online.
Yes.
That was the Falcons we saw yesterday. That is the Falcons that we have come to expect. And I think when they come in with that aggression, they understand how they want to play. It is time to close out the event.
Yeah, and you know what? That you say that, I love that they came online. I was really looking at Hisoka, right? He was that player that was getting taken down first, right?
Yeah.
And even we saw in that last game there was Omit EU that actually pop off at that gas station. Oh, Hisoka went down, but who saved the day? Shifty, Biffle, and Enkyo, although I have to give him his flowers because he was able to get away, and Omit EU did stay alive longer, but it's plays like that Shifty and Biffle keep saving the day.
Sometimes the best play is to just run away. Sometimes the best play... Sometimes the best play is just to camp it out, like this rat out in the audience out there. Look, the rat skid, you can go ahead and pick that one up. And I don't know if anybody plays like the rat on this desk. I know we all like to fly and fry, but sometimes, like I said, running away is the play. Sometimes camping it up like a rat is also the strategy. This was game number 6, and Falcons end up taking it. Hisoka coming in the form. That is the big talking point here because, again, he is the closer. The pressure is on that man, Gio.
Yeah.
Ahsoka is one player, in my opinion, who can take that pressure and not be affected by it. In fact, I think it elevates him.
Yeah, oh no, 100%. And I think, we've spoken about how there's been a few games today where he's been taken down a little early and it's proven to be a big Achilles heel for this team. But you have a game like this where he was able to show up and you see exactly what that power that Falcons can have and what they can do with it.
And when we talk about a team that's on their heels, though, right? Who could challenge Ahsoka? Who can reach 150 points outside the Falcons, who's already there?
Yeah, look, it's community, right? We're talking about how Falcons, they're the first team. They passed the match point threshold. If they win this next game, that's it. They are the champions. But here's the big thing that you have to be concerned about is this is potentially going to be the last opportunity for them to be the only match point threshold team because less than 18 points away are community. And when we have a look at some of the statistics they've been putting up, Dongy sat on 32 eliminations. Scummon sat on 31 eliminations. These are not small numbers.
Big numbers.
And so it's very, very possible that if Falcons don't win this next map, that team will be joining them in the match point threshold, and then it's just as much their likelihood as being able to win the championship as Falcons.
I just wanted to say a quick note that community, 27 eliminations I saw it before that game between Dongy and Scummon and Rational was sitting at 7.
Yeah.
Both them collectively as a duo literally are destroying everything.
Destroying indeed. And now will they be able, though, to catch up? That's the question. And now the true question is this. Team Falcons, as you see there, they are on match point. This is their tournament to win. This is also their tournament to lose. Which one? Which side do they want to be on? Will this end in game number 7? Will we go to game number 20? D'Angelo, the risk is, right, if they don't win here, more teams are looking to join them past that 150 point threshold. Gio just mentioned community. That's probably going to be the next team in line.
That is exactly the thing that we are worried about if you are Team Falcons, is that you don't clutch up this game. And normally this squad, they got a 3 or 4 game buffer till anyone else joins them. Well, here today, they have so many squads that are nipping at their heels that could come online and start to join them. Because reminder, folks, it doesn't really matter what your points were. If you just be that team to win the game, you are the champion. And at that moment, the rest of the scoreboard locks up. So we have $300,000 that is going to that first place team, but we have $160,000 for that second place team. So yeah, even if you don't close out the tournament, it's still important that you have those points because let's reminder folks, $160,000 divided across those 3 players is still more than the winners of last year, okay? So I know there's a lot of this, like everybody's playing for second.
Yes.
Brother, I'm okay playing for second if I'm winning more than the champions of 2023.
All right, well, who is playing for second? Who's playing for first? Let's look at our standings heading into what could be the final game of the World Series of Warzone 2024. Team Falcons in red because they have surpassed 150. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, the points doesn't matter anymore for Team Falcons. They've done their job. Now it's all about the victory. They can win a game with 1 elimination, and they're taking home $300,000 and lifting that trophy. The community in second at 132.4, most likely reaching that in the very next game. You go down the list, plenty of other teams looking to reach that mark. These teams, though, on this page, 11 through 20 of Dream, are struggling. They need to step it up because there's going to be more teams waiting to get the trophy.
Yeah, even across the point margin, though, on this second page, you see 86.6, even doubling it up. So even just trickling on down from 60 to 80, just about 20 points there, these teams definitely need to start picking up eliminations, maybe even early game, just figure out a way to just get those kills, but also get the placement set up.
And now, Gio, it brings up the question. What do you do to shut Falcons down? We talked about potentially, it's a nasty word, but griefing, right? In this case, I think it would be okay because you're shutting down a team that very well could be taking on the championship. But if you do that, you're also potentially a martyr, right? Putting you at risk of being eliminated earlier than you would want, maybe placing outside top 20, which is where you make the money. Maybe you're missing out on thousands and thousands of dollars comparative to the next placing. How do you shut the Falcons down?
And that's the thing. Being a martyr is great if you get 300 grand out of it, but it is the risk that comes with it. I mean, I think it feels like we're kind of beating a dead horse here, bringing this up constantly today, but it's a very valid point, and that is so far what has worked today has been targeting that IGL, you know, and even when we had that listen-in a couple of games ago, we actually heard the sort of barren wasteland that was their comms when they lost the IGL. Now, I'm sure over the course of the games of today, when they have had those moments, they've been able to adapt in that situation because it wasn't a problem they had problem they had to face yesterday. So they will have had to have done that today. But I think that that's probably going to be something that people are going to be really focusing on, because you will be able to have seen the difference between what happens when he is in the late game and when he isn't in the late game.
I think one thing we got to bring up, though, it was just as close as Monday, where we saw 8 teams in a tournament decide to do exactly what you're mentioning. They said, hey, none of us can win anymore. Let's just everybody drop on the Falcons. And what happened? Y'all suck, and you got slammed.
Oh, yeah.
Falcons came out of pop-off power with double-digit kills, even more money than they somehow had before.
Right.
And they still were able to close the tournament on out. So, sure, I guess if you want to try and land on the Falcons to get a cool Twitter clip, farm your impressions, great, but it's not going to help you in winning this tournament.
The thing is we've been asking that question for since this team formed, and we've been asking that question for the 30-plus tournaments that they've won as a roster, and we still have yet to find an answer. Let's talk about what Falcons, really what's at stake for Falcons at the moment. Not only lifting that trophy once again, which would be the second global final championship for 2 of those members, right? We're talking, of course, Shifty and Biffle. Hisoka would be also lifting that trophy as well, in combination with his other wins that he's had, including EWC, which is tremendous. Now, Biffle and Shifty also have those wins. So, Dynasty talk has been a big conversation. Will they be a Dynasty team? And I think undeniably you would have to say yes. But then once they do finally reach that Dynasty status, then you have one of the members looking to retire while he's at the top, which is Biffle right there. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, because it's like you have this tremendous story that's forming, and it could all come to a close in this very next game.
Can I just say, though, and especially in the COD community, these pro players that go out, some don't go out the way that they want to. And if you're Biffle, you're on top, and you just have that legacy you could just secure here going out as being the best. I think, why not, right? Like, it's not easy to do that and go out in a way that you want to. And if Biffle has control over that, and he's like, you know what, I'm already at the top. Let's just go out now and go have some fun with friends, jump in the pool with Repulse. Like, let's go.
Hey, well, talking about having fun with Repulse, Repulse had a chance to sit down with the entirety of the Falcons roster and play a little POI guesser. Let's see who was the best.
Alrighty, guys, today we'll be doing POI GeoGuessr with the Falcons. So, boys, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys a place on the map, and you gotta tell me which location it is, all right? It's not gonna be easy. Understand? No questions?
Oh, we're good.
Nope. All right, let's do it, man. Okay, I'm gonna show you the picture. It's gonna slowly zoom out, so try to answer as fast as you can.
Is that even
that's
is that the game?
Hadika Farms, the tents. No?
It is. Yeah, it's the blue tents.
Yeah. Okay, 1 point for Soka. How you got that so fast was insane. Hadika Farms, all right. Ready for the next one?
Yep.
That's the
that's right by fire station.
That's Braxton spot, no? No, is that Pop? No way.
No, it's right by fire station. It's
that's Braxton spot.
Oh, that is Braxton spot. Holy shit.
11 Resort.
Oh, 11 Resort.
That's kind of a stretch. Oh my god.
I mean, you guys never really go there, but
we used to.
You kind of got it. I'll give it to D. I'll give it to D there.
Yeah,
he said Braxton spot. You know what I'm saying?
I know that. That's Pop, no?
Pop off?
That's gotta be Pop.
Downtown.
That's gotta be Pop.
Reaper's Island?
What is that? Oh, that's the Bruins, bruh.
That's Old Town.
Wow.
No point for no one.
I think everything's Pop.
Oh, I know this.
How you know that? Brother. Oh, that's is that Millie?
Millie. Yeah.
They're all tied at 1. Ready, boys?
Downtown.
That's downtown next to the heli. The ruin area. Oh, that's by the oh my god, that's by a high rise, no? That's the little
that's the train station.
Oh, that's Seaport.
Wait.
Seaport.
No one got this one. No one got
Dude, this actually. Think of some hard ones.
All right, here we go.
Pop off.
No, that's the cranes. That's
Downtown.
the cranes.
No, that's
the
Military.
Manor?
Oh,
That's Manor. It's Manor.
Sure they got it.
He should have got that
I'm
one.
just trying to guess, bro, because
That was good. That was
Pop
good.
off ain't pop up yet.
That was good. That was good.
Guessing pop off.
Yeah, you guess pop off every single time.
You know where we're landing, guys.
Brother.
Pop off. Downtown.
What is that?
This is a piece of metal. A cash register?
Oh, the blue roofs. Oh no.
Super. Ain't no way we're getting that.
Super
We're not getting that one. We're not getting that one.
Dude, there's a lot of
Cranes. The cranes. Cargo.
Yeah, that's probably cargo.
Yeah.
Come on, brother.
There you go.
Okay. What is that? What's the score?
2-2-1.
2-2-1. All right, D, you're gonna have to step it up right
Say
here.
pop off next one.
Hard to declare.
It has to be pop off next one.
Pop.
Pop off.
That's pop.
We all know that one.
Pop off cranes.
Who said that first? Diaz?
Man, we all know that play. Who landed there,
I
man?
might have been. Give it to me.
High rise.
Jeez. It was either one of the two.
All right, boys, that was the last one. Pop off did not come out.
But we land there, though.
It looks like Soka and Shifty tied.
We gotta do sudden death, bruh.
We know the last one.
We don't got another one. Alrighty, guys, thank you guys so much for joining us on this interview with Team Falcons. Guys, looking forward to seeing you guys fry out this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, it seems like their knowledge of the map is pretty good, which you would expect, right, from Falcons. They understand how the map works, some of the best of them to do it. In fact, could very well be the best. Coming back into it again, game number 7. First off, a lot more games than anybody was expecting we would reach because everybody is like, oh, it could end in 4. It could end in potentially 3. Well, now we're at game number 7. Okay, we could have more. Goj is looking at me. He was calling for 4 games. He was definitely wrong. I was saying 8. Regardless, though, the moment is about Team Falcons. Their chance to really cement all 3 of them in the histories of Warzone as a dynasty roster, something only very few individuals in esports have been able to say, right? So it's a big accomplishment. I've seen dynasty rosters form in the past. This obviously is one of them, and they would absolutely have earned it. Enigma, you're now on the desk. Welcome back, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Question is, and we asked Andrew this, and he didn't have an answer, and I don't have an answer, but Falcons, what do they do? I mean, what can teams do to shut them down in this moment? Because they haven't been able to do so in the past.
I mean, I think at this point, if you are one of the teams that is trying to get a higher placement, because obviously if they win, then the rest of the leaderboard freezes. If you're one of those teams that wants to put on drag this tournament out a little bit, I don't think you land on a team like the Falcons. I think you're asking to get absolutely smoked in their home ground. I think what you do is if you pick off someone like Ahsoka, let's say you're a community and you get a knock on Soka, you full send that. You absolutely do your utmost to make sure you bring them down, cut them off at the knees. I think other than that, you just got to hope and pray that it's not going to be one of these weird border zones with an LTV, because then we are done, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. Well, COD Immunity's right on their heels, looking to catch up. They're, about less than 20 points away, I think, from breaking 150, if I'm not mistaken. But also, there's other rosters. Team Aiden has been looking incredible today, Gio. You talk about COD Immunity also looking great. But FaZe have been so consistent, right? And just haven't got a win today. That's the big thing. But at least as far as points goes, eliminations and placings, they've been doing just fine.
Yeah, I mean, actually, both of the teams that you just mentioned there were the 2 teams that I was thinking, like, if they're going to put a lot of points on the board in the next, assume we have a next couple of games, but like, let's assume that we do, it's going to be those 2 teams. And FaZe is a really big one to mention, especially looking at someone like Sage. He's out there with 23 eliminations at the moment, but we just keep seeing these amazing moments from him and the way that he keeps popping off. And he obviously knows what it's like to kind of be at the very top. And, if he can help to pull his team through to actually get over that threshold of 150 points, then, maybe they will put their first win of the day on the only game that matters.
That's right.
Do that one, baby, but they got to get there first. And
that's it.
They have it in them, but we've got to see what this next game holds first.
Can we give some love to the FaZe Black Squad? Because both FaZe teams, top 3, top 5, and I have to, Gabe Kun, that interview, I love Gabe's interview. He said, have faith, believe in yourself, God bless up, but flanked. I don't know if it was the solo YOLO yesterday.
Third place.
He's got 24 eliminations on that leaderboard.
Okay.
Fired up for them, 3rd place. Would love to see what they can do in this next game.
Next game, right? Well, the next game is queued up. We're about to hop into game number 7, which could very well be the final game of the World Series of Warzone 2024. Will the team of Falcons cement themselves as a dynasty? Will we have more games? COD Immunity, do they want this to end already? Are they satisfied with 2nd place and $160,000? Well, only the competitors can answer that question. And to tell the story what could be the final game is our casters, Spider Tiff and Goj.
Thank you so much, Taylor Reflections Noble. I am excited about this game. The tension in the air is palpable, Tiff, and I think the fun part about this is, yes, this could be the last game, or this could be the beginning of many. They've got an opportunity to shut things out and close it out and send everybody home right now before anybody else breaches that threshold. But Tiff, there's a lot of teams very, very close.
There really is, but you said it. Could this be the last game? Is this the potential last dance? You want to go out on top if you are Biffle there, but Scummin, one of the craziest fraggers of our lobby right now from COD Community, about to breach 150, a team that if they're averaging, what is that, just under 1.5 average multi, so every kill for them is worth 1.5, which means you just need about 10 to 16 to make it happen, right? And we need to see, can we go the distance? We need to at least win one once we hit 150. Stop the Falcons in their tracks.
I don't think COD Community has dropped a game under double-digit kills, by the way. They've got it. They're going to be at 150 unless they decide to change things up and maybe drop Pop-Off. Who knows? That would be a ballsy move for sure. But, folks, the beginning of the end. It might be a long road to victory, or it could be one single game. Vegas is loud. Maybe the final map of the day, but it's Game 7, and we know what happens in Game 7. Everything is on the line, folks. It's time for the Falcons to prove that they're the best team here. Let's drop into game number 7.
Well, here we go, and my God, COD, what is that circle? I know we've been pulling to the north where pop-off power in play and allows for favorable rotations from the Falcons, but starting from the south and ending in military base, I can only imagine. We have seen so many circles that have ended just south of Zaravan suburbs where, if you think about it, right, I'm really curious to see. Actually, just kidding. Apparently, we have a little bit of luck on our side. Maybe we're not going to go to the Deep South. We're going to return back to the lobby and check in with everyone.
Whew, okay, that got me stressed. I'm not going to lie.
We're all
reset,
stressed.
make sure everything's working as intended. That would have been a wild one, but
I wanted that circle. It's okay, though.
It could come back. You never know. We've seen a lot of zones in the South with tourneys leading up to this one. I think we've only had one over the course of like 13 games
That's
or so,
true.
And that was maybe it. So anyways, wow, okay, stressed a little bit, but back on the stage. Look, Tiff, we do have some storylines to set up.
We do.
And I love that Dream shouted them out. FaZe Black has been doing the most today. And talk about a turnaround from yesterday. They didn't have an abysmal performance yesterday, but it wasn't a great one. And they're coming out and showing that, hey, we're living up to the hype. Gabe's living up to the hype, but Flanked can perform on LAN, and he's doing a fantastic job of it today. Top 3 right now. Potentially, if it ends right now, they're walking away with $100,000.
That is actually crazy to say, especially in Vegas. $100,000, life-changing money, but they could also decide to stop the Falcons, keep it going one more game, because this is actually my favorite part of the format, because like you said, palpable tension in the Orleans arena. And what I do know is that everyone, even if you're a Falcons fan, you're hoping for them to convert it, but maybe your team isn't on that Call of Duty Warzone match point. I know each and every single one of you D-Gens out there are preying on the downfall of the Falcons.
I want more Warzone, I certainly do. Now look, I'm gonna ask the audience here, do you think that if you're in 31st to 40th, you should send everybody in that section of the leaderboard to Pop-Off? Yes?
Yes? Okay, hear me out. Orleans Arena, and those players on the stage, there's a party and pop-off, and you're invited.
Yeah, I'm in on that, all right? I'm a big fan of that. Everybody go to Pop-Off. Desk was saying you're going to get punished for it. I say let's have a party in Pop-Off. Come on now. I love that from Vegas. But no, a lot more to talk about, too, because I think when we mentioned this retirement of Biffle, potentially, he wants to make sure, by the way, he wants to make sure that he is the top fragger as well. If he's gonna go out on top, he wants to be top fragger. He's currently down by 1 to the likes of Dongi, the other young gun out there. So he wants to be top fragger in this game. They're not gonna just sit idly by and get 2 kills and try to win.
Definitely not. And I want to give a nice update from production, guys. That was an audio issue there on that last game, not a game crash. We want competitive integrity, so we decided to reset everything and decide to go in with a fresh new start. I still think it's because they didn't like the zone.
It's rigged. Everybody's saying it's rigged in chat. I know you are. I'm not even looking at it. Let's take a look at our standings, though, and do a little bit of math as we take a look to see where everybody is at. We are looking for 150 points, folks. I'm going to see if I can help you do a little bit of math. 31 points separate FaZe Black from being on that threshold, but it is only 18 or 17.6 from the side of that COD Immunity team. And frankly, that is so easy for them. I can only expect them to be there, and there's a good chance FaZe Black will join them on this game.
I mean, look, you heard it from Shifty in that interview, right? They're like, we were asleep, and well, now they're the demons from your nightmare that are sent to reap you. I saw that brief flash of Reaper by 78, and I was like, look, sometimes the Grim Reaper comes for everyone. They lurk underneath in the darkness to arise, and well, I hope that's what they're gonna do. I'd love to look at some highlights here as we kind of get everyone back into the lobby, guys. It should only be just a couple more moments. I'm looking for 5 more players, but down to the water we go for FaZe Black.
Yeah, fun moments looking back at some of these fights, and you're right. This was the beginning of the dominance from FaZe Black. A monster game here. I had so many question marks around this team because we didn't have a chance to see them rotate to this spot, and they took down Exiles, and then a perfect setup for New from the call here of Blast. You heard Gabe talk about it. Blast, one of the best IGLs out there in his mind. Apparently that's true today because this setup was flawless, and then Gabe wins the 1v1. Cams gets weakened, Gabe jumps off from the top ropes. There's been some fights happening in Vegas, and this one was one for the ages. FaZe Black leapfrog up this leaderboard and say, hey, we're here to play, and they continue to do so after this. So we take a look. Exiles, who have been very consistent today, also were able to grab their win. Take a look at this fight from that FLS squad where Huskers and Jackals had a great fight on their hands. It almost turned the other way because of Gooey here. Huskers could have won this, but Gooey's able to swing around, get 11 kills. Exiles, a good game, but not good enough, not for Gooey.
Let me jump on to Enkyo's POV here. He's got the PDS, and here comes Gooey for the push, and Enkyo goes for the roundabout, connects a few, but not enough, and that's where you set your sights straight onto Adrian. The timing, not enough to go that 1v1, v2, and gang up on the north, but they convert this, they take the win, and we just keep putting all the points on the board. It just hasn't been enough. Now, if you think of yesterday during the group stages, right, the Falcons were the only one to eclipse 150, and quite frankly, they surpassed it. But FaZe Black, after their performance yesterday, went back to the drawing board and said, you know what? I've got something for y'all.
And this was that moment where we knew the Falcons had it in their grasp. They grabbed it in their talons and flew away with it, quite literally dominating in this map and reaping a ton of points, and they only needed a couple. With this win, they leapfrogged not only to the top of the leaderboard where they already were at, past our threshold, and are now up by 40 points. So if something just drastic happens and somebody breaches the threshold and wins before they can, they're likely at least getting second because of the points they tallied up in that one. They said, sorry about that. We were asleep for a little while. We were up late gambling, I guess. I don't know what happened, but they're here now and they're here to play, and apparently they're hitting that jackpot.
I was gonna say, what do you mean? The Falcons are Saints. They totally weren't touting going to a club and saying that everyone sucked yesterday. They are the perfect representation of Call of Duty Warzone, but honestly, a dynasty that they are looking to cement here. Soka last year, second place, the victory, the World Series of Warzone champ with Caldera. But Biffle, we said it yesterday, has never placed outside a top 3 in any of the World Series of Warzones throughout the years that he's competed in. And honestly, I know Polshak, I've got a good POV of them up there. Repulse, when he was competing, is one of like the only teams to beat Biffle.
True, yeah, that's so true. Shout out to the watch party up there. They are vibing, they're having a good time, and they're gonna lose their minds if the Falcons win it here. But again, I think the big point that still stands is Biffle needs to top frag. He's a kill behind Dongi, and Dongi is not gonna let go of that. Dongi has been slaying out all day today. COD Muni is one of those teams that we expected to be high risk, high reward, and well, frankly, they've reaped the rewards. They are in second right now, could potentially walk away with $53,000 a piece. If they don't win, they still easily have a chance to win. However, if history is repeating itself right now, one thing about this community team that is very different from the Falcons is they have a hard time winning. They always find kills, but to grab a win is a tall task for this squad, at least in the last several months.
It's true, and you think back to Monday, we're warming up for the LAN here this weekend in Las Vegas. It took them 3 games after hitting 150 to close it out, so I've got to hear it. Orleans Arena, do you think the Falcons close it out here? I don't know, sounds kind of mediocre to me. I don't think we've got any believers.
That was a mixed bag, but I know we're excited about that one. What I do know about this audience is they want everybody at the bottom of the leaderboard to drop on pop-off. What circle will we get for potentially the final map of the day? And as we hyped it up, we gotta keep the competitive integrity, folks. We gotta keep the competitive integrity. I'm getting word that we're gonna have to reset this one and make sure that everybody is in. I know. Now the question is, you and I get to talk more, but also as the pools go out, this is like quite literally the definition of icing the kicker. I mean, this is like somebody's calling a timeout. I don't think we gave these teams timeouts, but that's what it feels like right now. And I will say, under pressure, this is where the Falcons thrive. So I don't know if this is a good thing for the rest of the competition.
They're just staying mentally locked in, and everyone else is starting to fall a bit apart. They're just like, what do you mean? We see the circle, we go back to the lobby, and it's just like, just let me at them, right? Just let me close this thing out. But you're right, that competitive integrity that we have to maintain, and quite frankly, now I'm starting to get, I don't know.
You get iced as well?
No, my hands are starting to sweat a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, what is going on?
No, I'm pouring sweat out here. It's been a great day, and it's been very sweaty up here because we have been yelling our faces off for these teams. Again, I want to tout a couple of these squads that have had a great tournament thus far. Of course, we talked about that FaZe Black team, but FaZe, I mean, how much should we talk about this squad? Hot and cold, sure, but swag performs on LAN, man, and they are dominating today, a top 5 team. To have FaZe have 2 teams in the top 5 going into potentially the last map, or at least the end of this tournament, very impressive stuff. And you got to remember, you have a former World Series of Warzone winner on that team with Sage trying to enact some revenge of his own.
Yeah, he didn't get the solo YOLO yesterday, even though he was talking about it. He's like, look, I deserve to win this. I've been firing on all cylinders. I've been shooting absolute nukes. So it's time. Oh, hey, look, a little inception there. As you can see, they're watching the main. I saw them watching Pulse Check earlier, and they currently are, but I saw a little glimpse. Regardless, let's talk about them, because you think about Adrian. Last year, playing World Series of Warzone, he was alongside Aiden and Rated. Rated not necessarily here on the stage. Aiden on a different team with Z Smith and DJ Moss. The roster mania post World Series of Warzone last year went wild, but I'm enjoying this trio that we see on your screen right now. Now, not only this, they arrived in style to Las Vegas. I don't know if it was a private jet or what. That's where Swag was just like, you'd think I already won the million before I even got here.
That literally is verbatim when he tweeted. I love that confidence, but job's not done. Top 5 right now and a lot of money to exchange hands. I would love if we can to take a look at that prize pool again and remind folks at home what we're playing for, because yes, it's $1 million and it's top 20 today getting paid out. So if you're in 21st at the end of this, you will not be making money, and it is $300,000 if you win this competition, $100,000 apiece. That's going to put all members of the Falcons in the top 3, top 4 earners of all time. With Biffle already on top there, an extra $100,000 potentially added to his repertoire is going to push him up towards $650,000 earned on just this title. But $160K for second, $100,000 still for third, and then it drops off significantly and carries all the way down to 20th. We're at least walking away with a little bit of something. Maybe you're putting that all in black, I don't know.
No, I'm not, and sure his reflection's not. He's gonna be standing behind you touting, it's red, and then everyone loses, so that's unfortunate for us.
Well, we got FaZe Black and FaZe Red, if you can call them that, both in top 5, so either way you look at it, the roulette table's looking good. Now, I gotta say, I'm looking out for a couple teams that maybe haven't had the best tourney thus far. That Team Falcons MENA squad, they had an okay tournament, right? And I think one of the things about this squad that they've been struggling with is the IGL side of Almond. You're actually looking at them early in these maps, getting actually a sizable amount of kills, but they're not able to make it to the end zones. One of the reasons for that is because they have a very difficult task that only Community's truly been able to execute on, which is leaving City and going to all these other zones all over the map. We've only had one City zone in nearly 13 maps.
Now I'm just curious, where are we even going? I wouldn't even mind a military base ending. We used to get crazy pools out towards the ranch that were just so far in the open that anyone that's hailing from the northwestern side of things, it has to make the Lewis and Clark trek across Urzikstan.
Sure. And I think, frankly, looking back on even the regional finals and qualifiers, you know what the circles we got the most were City, but also the big Kotovo block circle way up to the top, right? Right up by 11. So, weird that we haven't even seen that circle yet as well. And talk about that RNG that definitely plays a big part in all of this, different RNG. Now, I am getting word from productions that we actually had a player, Brolic, actually had a nosebleed. So, competitive integrity, we're going to reset for him because we had to take care of that. They don't want to make sure he's okay, and it seems like he is. So he's going to be playing. Everybody's good. Exiles are right back into the mix, and certainly still well within the equation for a sizable amount of prize pool.
I mean, the dry air here is crazy. I mean, aren't we in the desert or something? I haven't seen the outside in like 17 hours because every time I go out, the sun is down and out. And I'm just like, when will I see the sun again? I don't know, because I'm just here with Call of Duty Warzone and I am loving my life. But our squad's here getting prepped and ready. We're just looking for a few more players in the lobby. And a matter of fact, the Falcons, 78 eliminations, Community 71. And there's only a few teams that are even encroaching north of 60. And I believe it is only FaZe Black.
Yeah, and our top individual fraggers. We'd love to pull it up if we have it. Otherwise, I'm going to read it out for the audience here because I've been mentioning Biffle. He is on 31 kills, tied with Scummin for second, with Dongi on 32 eliminations by himself. Where's Shifty? There he is, fourth place, 26. But look who's in fifth. My guy Gooey has been cooking today in day 2. 25 eliminations for Gooey with flanked right behind. Noobs actually not too far behind. We asked where Vitality was. Apparently, Noobs is here to play. 24 kills. I wonder where the rest of his squad is.
I mean, it's pretty different compared to yesterday, right? That contest there with Community really didn't go their favor. They tried different tactics today, and it's seemingly working out for them as they're just kind of maintaining that mid-pack situation. But of course, we got flanked up there with 24. You still have Blast there with 20. We got to hear from that roster earlier after their win, and they're like, dude, Blast from the CDL, amazing, has been throwing down, leading the charge here. What is this?
What is he doing? Was he watching TikToks during the break? Oh, this is one of those TikToks that's like super hype.
Oh yeah?
You know what I mean? And he's like getting hyped. This is like, hey, this is the build up for the final moment. Everybody watch this video.
Oh,
Man,
is that what it
so
is?
Like Gen X.
Kind of like
that's crazy.
final countdown
I'm
moment,
old.
cementing dynasties. I'm on the weird side of TikTok, so I don't see those things.
What is it, cat videos? Anime? Maybe a little bit of both.
No, it's the Batman cat, which seems fitting there for the Falcons and Soka.
Right.
Sometimes he turns into the Dark Knight.
All right, folks. Well, guess what? The game's about to get started here shortly. Third time might be the charm. I'm going to hold my breath a little bit. We've set the stage. We know what's at stake, and we know what the audience wants. We want a lot of folks landing Popov, at least make it difficult for them. We'll see. The big question is what zone, folks? We got a lot of love for CT Red. Let's see what they can do maybe in this final map to bolster themselves up this leaderboard. Looking for top 20 if you want some cash, but this might just be the beginning of the end. We could see 5 more maps. Only time will tell. Now, folks, you can see the counter on your screen. You can see how many seconds we have left. We are nearly there. Thanks for staying patient. It has been a great 2 days in Vegas, and it's going to be a great finish.
Oscar's there, Brolic as well, and man, things are really starting to heat up here. I hope it's the third time is the charm kind of vibe. We're getting a look there of Urzikstan, which means the time is now. And I was gonna say, I don't know how many more times I can hype y'all up, Orleans Arena. This has got to be it.
All right, folks, everybody take a big collective deep breath. The beginning of the end. It could be short or it could be long. We're gonna drop into this final map potentially for the Falcons.
Ranch. A lot of battles here, especially when you think of the Bazaar. A lot of hot starts over there, but it doesn't matter because all eyes on Popov and no one willing to risk it and feed them even more eliminations. Juki's, though, is he off his leash? He's going rogue. I saw him land in just on the other side of Shifty there.
We got nobody?
Not a single soul.
What? One vehicle? Who is it? It's Zach. Hey, Zach. By himself in a vehicle? Nobody dropped Popov? Are you kidding me? I know you want money. I get it. We'll see what happens. They're going to walk out with about 50K, and they've got a good opportunity to win, but it's definitely not all she wrote. Now, Tip, you talked about that circle. It's a big moment to talk about because it could go back to farms. What have we seen in farms? 2 in circles there yesterday. One of those, Falcons got second. The other, they won with a massive margin. That was the biggest game I believe they dropped yesterday with that win. I think it was pushing 60 points. So still a lot of history in farms for them as we head to the Gulag as COD Muni apparently in trouble.
Well, mind you, they only need like 16 points to breach 150s come in here against Huskers. Exiles trying to hold it together and breach top of the leaderboard, earn the most they can. The zip comes out, and well, Huskers takes it and baits it, and Scumman's just shooting, and Husker takes it to him.
Back to back with the fake. The broken legs, the broken neck. See you later, Scumman.
The broken ego, if I gotta say.
Okay, my guy Husk is styling on him here in the Gulag. I love that start. Unfortunately, not a great start for the team, albeit a great moment for Huskers. We're going to see where they go to regain. Now, Popov, not very active right now. We do see Team FIFA kill. They've moved all the way up to the north side of Popov. This is not unfamiliar territory for them. They've done this now several times. North side of Popov, and then they usually rotate towards Levin. But with this zone favoring the eastern side, they could come through and try to take and contest against the Falcons.
Well, we've got squads Insight Gaming on your screen. DRN for now. Destroy looking for angles, see if we can catch Stukax out. Maybe some early eliminations as Nate Dogg is isolated over here by himself. Can we get this 1v1 against them? Well, maybe. We reunite with the homies over in Lowtown.
Just a quick look at FaZe, by the way. Again, top 5. You can see our top 5 in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Obviously a massive margin between first and second, but the Falcons just need a win. CT Red, a lot of cheers from the crowd for them. Unfortunately, FaZe is going to swing in and likely clean this one up. Dark says, I'm out of here. JS Amir back on his feet only for a millisecond as Sage pushing the equation. Great fragger today for this team, but it's been a team effort as they clean up. Lightning Castillo hunked him through the water, pistol in hand.
Not like
Castillo
that.
is out, and CT Red headed to the Gulag. FaZe is moving on all cylinders as we swing back to Aiden, who just hit a zip from Super. They got their loadout so fast, and they're trying to contest this Lowtown area.
But 38 points are needed from this map for them. And COD Muni, well, 18. Dongy in the Gulag, Scumman back into the mix, especially after we saw that play from Huskers. But Unrational here, you've got Noobs on the other side, and Scumman backs down and out. One more elimination, it's Vitality. Can we find Steve-O? And we've already breaking the plates there.
To the Gulag we go with Dongy. Let's see if he can get the better of his opponent this time, and I believe that stick. Not quite a fastball special, there's no thermite, but a stick straight to the chest and ran away from his opponent. Nice take, a nice win. 1-1 in the Gulag for COD Muni, and frankly, unfortunately for Vitality, they are 0 for 10 or so that they've tried to contest this COD Muni team, whether off drop or right after drop.
Kind of interesting here is see what that next circle starts to pull. Do we go to the north? Do we hang towards the farms? Do we center on up? A lot of our squads omit EU over on Manor, but this is a very similar pool to the ending that we saw when we went to the coast on the outskirts of military base. And that just goes to show you, honestly, look at the Falcons and how spread out they are. We have 1 roaming industrial, 2 down in Popov. All you have to do is isolate them out, but no one ever goes towards that side of the map. Omit NA. They start in Rostava, and they've been working their way on the western side of things. Nano in their sights. We only connect for a couple bullets here, and you see the 1 player up in the air giving all the comms for Nano.
Golly, that map view is crazy. The fact that we've got a zone pulling towards Popov and military as Omit NA clean up a couple kills is wild. They're just gonna lie in wait and wait for anybody to try to chow them. frankly, if I am the Falcons, I'm getting as many resources as humanly possible. I need every ounce of information I can find. I need recon drones, I need UAVs, and I need those durable gas masks if we can get them. Of course, you want to use some recon contracts to find the new zones. You need to know if it's going to be your side of the river or if we do pull to military. Military pull is massive for this team. Again, you only need, it looks like 31 total kills, or total points rather, in order to make it to our threshold. FaZe Black right there in the mix. COD Immunity a little bit in a blender, but way less needed from them.
You see the streaks being called in. You got a portable radar in the back pocket. The Revenge Tour team already focusing on Navi, sending them for the hills, but we take the high ground here for flanked. Give the comms to the players as they push up onto J-Tech. You can see Blast just over there on the left within the smokes. J-Tech there, falls, and just looking for the full, gets it. Now we just have to locate B-Mark.
This is a nice team wipe again. When you need 31 points, you do need a sizable amount of kills. And then that multiplier is incredibly important as well. B-Mark gets beamed. FaZe Black are off to the races to figure out where they need to go from here. New zone's about to pop. The team Aiden is back into Superstore after a northern pull. They said, let's head down to Lowtown and hedge our bets. And we go, no, let's head back to our drop spot. And look who's here for a regain. After likely losing Bazaar, it's Panda trying to find a place on the map that they can call their home in the latter half of this tournament.
Well, FaZe on your screen, and you've also got the Epions, and well, let's see if we can take them down. Freddy on the roof, you can see the Bunker Buster will connect for some damage and be a little detrimental towards them, but Sage just needs to find that opening. It's gonna be Swag, though, that brings it straight to him.
FaZe can definitely drop a big enough game to get to our threshold. You need 39 points as of right now. That is well within reason for a team this talented. They haven't, I don't think, dropped a game that big, but they've been close a couple times. They need a 2x multiplier or more, and of course, they gotta make sure that the Falcons don't win. Couple other key notes, though. Up into pop-off, Cloud9 has taken a northern rotation for the first time since the start of this tournament. Cloud9 went from Seaport all the way up and are contesting in pop-off with the Falcons. We'll tune into that in a little bit because it does look like Biffle's taking down 4 and Jace, which means the Falcons likely are going to get a clean wipe here shortly.
There's a couple other teams still up in the north as well with Cloud9 Revenge Tour. They like to position themselves towards that end game early and then let the fighting do the work for teams that still are on the brink of 150. The squad on your screen, 15 points away, and then you check in with the Falcons, and man, it's kind of scary when you start seeing the north clear out for them.
Oh, Joe on the rotation fighting B-Mark means Biffle can get an easy third party. He's going to steal that kill away from B-Mark and says, hey, thanks for cleaning that up for me, my man. Now I'm on 2. How about I kill you as well? That's 3 if he can get the clean wipe. Take a look at this new zone. It's not a true pop-off circle, and frankly, probably won't end there at all. We might be seeing that Superstore South military circle that's actually going to favor where the Exiles are and FaZe Black.
It's one of those circles I was calling out while we were chatting before the game. I was like, hey, can we get one of them? That would be great to see. For COD Immunity, though, who land Zaravan City, have one of the longest rotations, and the timing will be of the essence. But first, we've got to deal with noobs. We've got to deal with Vitality. Yet again, we do it with ease. Dongi on 5 eliminations, 9 minutes in to the drop number 7.
Dongi is not looking to relinquish that top fragger title that he has currently earned. And again, this squad has worked so hard through every single map to make some of the hardest rotations through city and across the river. And finding Patzuka, Vitality has just been in a blender this whole tournament, unfortunately. And Rational is going to say, hey, Dongi, that's for you, my man. We're going to set you up for success and continue to make sure that you are the top fragger. I think that's now 6 for Dongi. Make it 7 for Dongi in this game. If you had any question that COD Immunity would be past our threshold after this one, I'm sure those questions are dropping out of your head quick.
Still got to get to the north we go, into Lowtown or through it. Omit EU elsewhere. Aiden's team fighting multiple squads, getting into the mix, but now we set our sights onto the dark. He peeks, Unrational connects, we rip the plates off him. Can we take it from Castillo? This damage that Unrational has been able to do with the Moors is allowing Dongi and Scummin to just circle around them and deal the rest of the damage and get those eliminations.
Unrational's played the perfect support player. You're not going to see him on the top fragging list, but he is setting up his teammates for success over and over again. It would be fun to look at his damage as well to set up his teammates. But Dongi's going to make the push, look for the isolation of the 1v1. Castillo out, not a full isolation though. We lose Dongi in the process. Again, a hair too aggressive. This team could have played slower and they could have saved Dongi's life. Instead, they're going to spend some cash. Back up to Popov, the only team in Popov, at least on this side of Popov, on the south-hand side, It's this Revenge Tour squad. We got B-Mark, J-Tech, and Slide. They're here to play, and they've been up here all day. And frankly, I'm not sure they're getting paid for it. They've been hanging out near the edge of Kotovo and Popov, and have had a little bit of a slow day today.
Yeah, they had that buy station there that they had just passed by, and it was during that fire sale course of time. We see just how much funds the Falcons have in the back of their pocket. We all have durables, we have self-reses, we've got the UAVs. We are poised to take this towards the end, and knowing that all of them usually have a portable buy, but it's FaZe, and they keep on moving. You can see Superstore just upon the horizon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's definitely Aiden shooting out over the top of them. With Superstore still in zone, they said, we dropped here, and we're gonna defend it as well. Aiden, they need a pretty big game, but everybody's coming to them. Just a question of how many kills can they pick up in that rotation. FaZe having a good one right now, a sizable amount of eliminations for this squad. Currently 4, obviously, for Sage, looking to figure out where do we go from here. Redeploy drones and everything in between. They've got every piece of resources they need to find success on this map, and they have cleaned out Lowtown. And now just got to figure out, do we want to run at Superstore? Do we want to run at Aiden? Or do we need to maybe make a different rotation? I think they're going to wait on this zone. So let's take a look at that zone if we can. It's going to be closing here in about 10 seconds and see where it goes. Does it go to military? Is it the one we've been waiting for? I think it might be, Tiff.
If it does, I love where Team Aiden has positioned themselves in Superstore with that buy station. And man, this is going to get wild really quick. I look towards Team Zach, who have actually fallen dead center for the most part on that island. FaZe now have to rotate just a little north, just to where we saw Superstore, right? Team Aiden in. But think of how open this positioning is. And I love that you see Omit EU in the dead center with the train. So they'll have a buy station, resupply on that ammo cache. But how are the Falcons going to approach this one? You've got Omit NA just towards your east.
Yep. Omit NA is trying to play gatekeepers. And, well, the Falcons say, let's stay true to our namesake. Let's take to the skies. And whether or not that's a good decision, we'll decide here shortly, because they are on edge of zone. Young trying to shoot beams, trying to shoot down the heli. And so Shifty has to run a marathon to get to zone. No kills to his name, but it doesn't matter. They don't need him. Just a win is needed from this squad. Omit NA trying to play gatekeepers. This is a fight that's going to happen. Without a vehicle, it has to happen if you're Omit NA. They're having a good day today, but they need a great day. And to do that, you need more games.
No, I don't even want them to be gatekeepers. I want them to pull a full-on Gandalf and say, you shall not pass. But Biffle still putting the hurt down onto Omit NA. The smokes come out, try to cut those lines of sight, but all it's going to take, one live ping, maybe an advanced UAV. They've got the funds. They've already thrown down the portable buy, and Biffle is looking to get Nixie. Thought about jumping up on the truck, doesn't do it, but Omit NA dropped to the low ground, and from the north, you can see another squad, EP-Downs, want to get in on the action.
Yeah, Revenge Tour also playing cross. We're going to do a quick listen in with the Falcons to see where they go from here, because there's a lot of teams looking at them.
For a teammate, this guy, look at this guy.
Our tower's got a car. They're just laying down. Look, they're laying down. They're getting shot in the back, probably. They're just laying down on our side. Crack them. Disable their car. Disable their car.
I got a P on that shit, alright? I got a P on that shit.
Alright.
I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up and get some shit. Look behind us.
By the way. They're gonna get third, bro. Look, they're all about to fucking fight hella.
I'm gonna grab a fucking mortar real quick, though. So set up this game.
I got a util box.
I'll go get some too.
I bought a mortar and a util. I bought a mortar and a util.
I'll buy the one. I'm
gonna get a bunker.
I'll buy some shit too. Okay.
How about a mortar?
It'd be nice to have it in pocket.
Yo, I have a portal as well, alright? Mortar, bunker, and a UE. Look at this end game, bro. It's gonna be that one bridge end game on the top side.
Yeah, I got another bunk and another util, okay?
Yeah, use cover because right next time is gonna look.
We just gotta buy station on our shit now. Right team.
Yeah, we could also get another advance then.
Yeah.
Go drop our money.
Take up a little bit of space. You see us get deep left? We have a recon drone us, by the way. Under us, just spotting us. He's just right here, idle.
Kill it.
Right here on our side, on our side, on our side.
He's at it. One.
Good loot. Get that full if you can.
Fucking loot. Teammates closer, teammates closer.
Behind this car, behind the portable, behind the portable. Oh, bump that portable.
Careful of our back zip. Careful of our back zip.
Bump that portable. Just make sure he's not in there.
The top side, listen. It's that end game with one.
Nothing.
You know what I'm talking about? Top side. We only be on top side.
There you go.
They're right here.
Yep.
3.
Well, the IGL Hisoka has spoken. He says topside, we go topside, and we'll see if he's right. I'm sure he probably is. Now, a couple teams in the area to play spoiler. Of course, you see FaZe Black there lurking in the shadows on that high ground position. They are outside the zone. The spot he's talking about is just to the south of that, and you actually see on our map that Omit EU is on the train tracks, just the east side of that kind of northern end zone that he's talking about. So we'll see if it ends up going there. Omit NA has completely abdicated from this fight, and they've actually gone onto the island, dead center of all that water, and are reaping teams as well. So they're moving up this leaderboard pretty dramatically as FaZe Black is trying to creep down into zone, and they might be held here by the Falcons.
Oh, flanked down and out. The angles that you can take from this bridge. So if you think about the biggest threats to it, it is FaZe Black, right? They dive down to the low ground here, but also Exiles and military base side of thing, XTH. You've got a couple more over there, even Team Super Evan, but they've got to clear it out. And now Community on double-digit eliminations have set their sights onto Omit NA. Let it burn. We need 7 more points.
This island is ours. My goodness, Omit NA obliterated off the island, and Young's is swimming for his life right now, looking for any semblance of a multiplier. We have 16 teams remaining, and Community likely has done enough at this point. I'm not going to call it that they're past 150 points, but I'm sure they will be, especially if they can secure top 10, which is likely looking like it will be the case. You see Super Evan's team in the Salmon 9 off the right-hand side. Omit EU on the train right now, on the train's tracks. This is win condition that the Falcons were talking about. They got here early. Anybody else that's been playing a lot of scrims, they know this spot well. Shifty a little bit isolated, knowing that the Italians are down below. He is actually out in the gas, getting held by a couple teams from distance. He's going to smoke and run and try to help out his teammates by wiping these Italians. Unfortunately, there's a long angle on it.
There really is, but their ability to put themselves into a god spot with the least amount of resistance is uncanny. Team Super Evan there on the train, out in gas. Biffle with their eyes set straight onto him, but it backs on up. You can see Team Aiden from the south, out of Superstore we go. They seem closer to the circle alongside FaZe from the south. The big fight here is going to be Aiden. It's going to be Exiles as they reek up on that eastern side of things.
All eyes on the Falcons, but in the top right-hand corner, you see that FaZe is having a banger game right now. There is a chance if FaZe wins this, they can also breach 150 points. Yes, this might be the final map. These might be the final moments of the final map, where we could see several teams past our 150-point threshold at the end of this one. Top 10 means Community likely done enough. Super Evan falls in 11th. Unfortunately, no multipliers for you, but Ahsoka on high ground. It's Youngsters playing spoiler as a solo from distance. Luckily, just a hair, enough cover to stay alive as Omit EU trying to regain, and Ahsoka has a flank.
And the angles, right? Omit EU, formidable foes, but they're already preoccupied with Team Aiden on the other side. Z-Smith down and out, and Omit NA wiped. Shifty, this is where he's going to get crazy. He's going to extend out, look for these eliminations. Third party at Omit EU. The formidable foes, they're down, they're out. More eliminations across the board, but Community 0.8 points away. They're still up in it. Can they get to 150? Can they stop the Falcons?
Unbelievable. DJ Moss was able to pick up a lot of eliminations and stay alive, but the Falcons have all 3 up and everybody else is killing each other. The Falcons are in the best position to win it all. They not only have high ground, sure they got to move into zone, but FaZe is going viral in the water. It's Clapper trying to play spoiler. Lynn FIFA, sure, you're still up. FaZe doing everything they can to try to breach the threshold. Community is past it. They are on threshold, but it may not matter. The Falcons are the only team, I believe, with all 3 alive besides Team Clapper, who I believe are nearly dead last. The Falcons are probably going to win it. Can anybody answer the call to stop this dynasty?
They were a wild card for a reason, was that Team Clapper, but what can they do when you have the playable space, when you have the angles? They're unleashing their inner kaijus and reaping it straight across. To Lennon we go. FIFA sitting ducks in the water.
There's no chance. The Falcons have the best position. All 3 up. Plenty of resources. Look how many plates they have. Everything is going their way. The only thing that could make this difficult is if this next zone pulls towards Rocket. If they get the pull, maybe. The problem is it's in the water. It's got to pull all the way to Freddy for this to even be a problem for the Falcons. They've got the best spot. It does. It goes to the Falcons. They have the best spot. They are going to win this game. It's just a matter of time. There has to be an absolutely Herculean effort from somebody else in this lobby to stop this tournament from being over.
And they are just putting the pressure onto everyone left out into the gas we go. Biffle wants to claim the top of that elimination leaderboard, wants to cement the dynasty. We talked about it. Is it the last dance? I don't know, but they could cement themselves in history here.
The Falcons, the flip of the coin lands on a nice edge. Freddy, Thanx, you have no chance, my friends. All three up, and they're gonna style on them. The Falcons needed one. The Falcons are your champions. They are inevitable. The dynasty has been etched in stone forever. The Falcons are the best Warzone team of all time. There is no question. There is no debate. No one can shake their finger at him and say, not today. Think about the history. Think about the other teams. The Falcons are the best team to ever grace this game.
You heard it from the Falcons themselves. The interview stating that there is not a single player in the world that they would ever replace one another with. If this is true, if this is Biffle's last dance, you might as well write the perfect final chapter here in Urzikstan.
Vegas goes wild for the champions. Was it what we expected? Sure. Did it happen the way we expected? Certainly not. But when you awoke the Falcons soared, and they won this whole event. Falcons are gonna head down to the stage where all the fans are crowding around, because sure, they've won $300,000, but they've also won a trophy that they've gotta lift him.
Soka won in Caldera. He reigns supreme here in Urzikstan. Biffle with a back-to-back alongside Shifty as the boys approach one of their prizes, the trophy here, lifted by some of the greatest of all times.
There is no more question. There's no mark on anybody's name. Everybody believes these are the best three players in the world. The Falcons are your World Series of Warzone 2024 champions.
Gotta get a moment. You called it. You said you woke up. You woke up. A man of your word. We've never seen a team like it. Shifty, how do you describe this moment?
It's incredible, man. I mean, for the past months, I've been seeing the number 7, and we won it in fucking game 7. I mean, I believe in manifestation in this team. I mean, the greatest of all fucking time, the greatest IGL of all time, and hey, the greatest fragger. I think I can say that. You know, fucking 3 for 3. Soka came into this team with a different fucking mindset. We knew we were gonna win. We knew. There's no doubt in my mind. I don't care if we had a bad start or whatever. I knew once we got there that we were gonna ace. And it being on game 7 was just testament to what I believe in and what the team believes in. We're just the greatest fucking team. But one thing I do have to say, man. One thing I need to say. Listen, please. I need one individual, man. Rob, you need to admit that us three, we are the greatest trio to ever play this game. And I need you also to understand and admit that Diaz Biffle is the best player in the fucking world. It is not anyone that he has said it was. He is the greatest of all time. Because of D, we're able to work as hard as we fucking do. This kid is a fucking GOAT.
Well said, brother. That's for you as well. All right, well, a great team is nothing without a great leader. Soka, you're up next, mate. Firstly, plates. Always need the plates, baby.
Double fisted, baby. What club we going tonight, chat? Come on, what's up? I'm at the Weird Nightclub. What's up? What's up?
How do you describe this moment? A great tournament from the whole squad, but you've been credited with some of the massive changes, the big wins, the decisions made in game. How do you feel about that?
Feels great, man. You know, last year I came short, came second. No one knows this, but I cried in my room by myself like a little baby. So they introduced me to the team. They had faith in me, and they trusted me. And once there's trust on the team, there's chemistry. We're undeniable. The generational one, baby. You can't deny us now.
Undeniable is the only way to describe it. Congratulations once again, fellas. I think I've got one more plate. We've got one more plate to give. Biffle, we'll keep this one. First and foremost, that's for you, sir. Congratulations. Everyone wants to know, the music's finally stopped. Is this the last dance?
I know the competitors, they want us, or they want me to leave because we're too fucking dominant. But I think I'll stay in their fucking nightmares one more year. I'll give it another year. Fuck it.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, the Falcons, your World Series of Warzone Global Final Champions.